Hi, everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a live stream, and welcome to Sunday evening here in Moscow. The time is 11 minutes past 7. Sorry for the slight change of time. It was only a few minutes. I hope if you were here early, you don't mind a slight delay at the start. Hope everyone's having a good day. It's been very nice weather here in Moscow today. Blue skies, a little bit of cloud. I didn't go into Moscow today. I stayed here in Aprilivka, where I'm from, or where I live. We went for a walk to the local food market to get some food for lunch and for dinner. I also went to the hardware market. I'm not too sure what they call that hardware market, but it's next to the food market. Like a Rinok and then a yarmulke, I don't know. But I want to get a mat for under the desk and where my chair is here, because we've noticed the wheels on the chair are slowly rubbing on the this laminate flooring. It's starting to make a little bit of a mark on the plank floor. I think I call it plank flooring, but laminate flooring. So yeah, there's a few people already in the chat. Hello, everybody. I see there's also some thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. 13 of them. It's a little bit unlucky. I'm also living on level 13, so I guess it's appropriate. Sergey, hello. I think you were the first one to say hello in the chat. Sizi, hello. Also, Yulia, hello. Zdravstvuyte. Sam, hello. Anyone else wants to say hello, you're more than welcome. To Mozzie, hello. I know you're a frequent person here in the live stream as well. And then there's so just a couple of things. I can't read Russian, so if you've either got a Russian name or you chat in Russian, it's completely okay to do that. Unfortunately, I can't read out the comments unless somebody is able to translate them basically for me. Just let me know also that you've got nice quality video and sound. If your video is not up to scratch, there's a little cog with settings where you can change the playback quality. Perhaps it may not be set on the higher setting, or you might have it on auto. You can change that as well. Henkster's Macro World. Hello from the Netherlands. Hello. Murmansk. Julia's in Murmansk. Oh, tell me where everybody's from. I know everyone likes to do that quite a lot. So Artur, hello. Zdravstvuyte. You look and sound fine. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen. Thank you so much. I do have one. Oh, I've got two things. There is a poll that I put, which might be interesting to see how it goes. There's 33 votes already. Sorry if I'm looking left and right. You know, as usual, I've got a separate screen on the side where I just look off to things, and I do try to look forward. I might tilt my camera down slightly. Excuse me for a second. You have this little fancy little button here. Oh, what's going on? Oh, that's the wrong way. We want to go that way. Check this out. Ooh, there we go. It's like an elevator. I think that's good. And that's good as well. Yes, that's better. So yeah, I can look a little bit more straight at eye level at everybody, and then I can still just look down slightly at the comments. Sometime it hanging, video lagging. That's interesting why that's doing that. I'm sorry if it's doing that. Stephen, you're in New York. Hello in New York. I was watching the US Open. Pretty much it was last week now, wasn't it? Last Sunday was a week ago since the US Open final. Wow. Now they've got the Davis Cup going on, which is the country versus country event. But Australia managed to get through. They lost one round. They won two others. So if anyone likes tennis, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. Australia's had a huge success in Davis Cup over the years. The country versus country, team versus team kind of type tournaments. The Aussies love that. So, yeah, Kiza, thank you. Your channel is amazing. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Thank you. I do have, so what I was going to say was there is a poll with some votes right there. Do you want to do vlogging? So vlogging is where I film my day to day. It's quite different to anything that I do on the channel or I've done on the channel before. What I typically do is title-specific videos, or I go to a certain place, location, like a park, shop, car yard, a convention, and I film an event or a thing or a place. And that's a YouTube video in one form. The other form, which is very popular, is vlogging, which is where you film day-to-day life. You don't really have a topic. It's very fluid in what you do that day, and you put it on YouTube as a daily vlog. There's been a lot of success with it with some people. There's not a lot of success with other people. It's very hard to do it successfully and get a lot of views, particularly if you're a small channel, because the YouTube algorithm doesn't necessarily show vlogs to everybody, to a wider community. And especially with the titling isn't specific where people would type in a search term. You know, if you want to see something on YouTube, when you open your app or the application on your computer, it'll have a home page, and it'll typically suggest things to you that you may have watched before, or similar content like you're watching. And it's got this crazy way of knowing what you want to watch. And then obviously you can type into search a specific thing, like a place, a name, a product, an item, you want to fix your kitchen, you know, whatever it is. And people find videos from search, and that's where a lot of my videos get shown and viewed, through search. So it's interesting. There's a very strong yes versus no. I was hoping there'd be more no's than yeses, you know, because I tend to have a plan of where I go to do something. So I'll go tomorrow, for instance, to a place and film something, like I went yesterday. Today I didn't. I woke up, we went to the hardware store, we went to the food store, we walked home, and that's about it. You know, we went to one of the street side guys that's selling fruit and vegetables. We bought oh, it's right behind me. Oh no, it's not. I bought a big melon from the guy on the street there. It has a little temporary stall. So hello to Azerbaijan. Hello. Oh, now the chat's gone quicker. Perm Krai. Hello, Grisha. Gria. Grisha? AU. That's Australia, unless it's gold. Illinois here. Sam, hello. Yes, I think I said hello already. Do you speak Russian? Malenki по-русски. Чуть-чуть. Pinялай по-русски. It's a little bit. Hi, Russell. Is it okay to still ask cruise ship questions, even though this is not your official cruise ship channel? You can. Yes. There is also some links if anyone wants to do kind of donations to the channel. I say to the channel because it's not necessarily for me, although the money comes to me for help with the channel. There is a link in the description for the donation alerts, which is the way that a lot of people ask me to allow them to send donations. You can click that and send a donation alert. You can keep it anonymous. You can also put questions and comments there. And there's also SberBank if you're in Russia. Some people like to do SberBank. And actually, people put comments. Someone did that the other day, about 4 or 5 days ago. More train videos they sent an amount of money and more train videos. So maybe they watched the 2 different videos I did on the Moscow metro, and it seems to be very popular, the train videos. So yeah, the donation alerts is very easy. And then if you do have YouTube and you're not in Russia, you can also do super chats or super stickers. So that's a donation that comes on the screen in the chat, and it goes through YouTube and then through the payment system of YouTube and eventually back to me. It's pretty good. Ooh, Fremantle, Western Australia. Nice. I went to school in Fremantle. I think maybe D-Shaw, do you know that? I went to John Curtin, which is now called College of the Arts. I should be proud in saying that I went to a College of the Arts school, shouldn't I? I wonder if they teach YouTube there. I don't think they do. Love your videos and your voice. Thank you. From Saskatchewan, Canada. Visiting Russia soon. Parvir Gill. Thank you. Love my voice. Not sure my wife agrees with that part, but I have another question, and you're going to have to tell me yes or no. Yes or no. You can do it as quickly as you like. Do you want me to put on the screen the donation alerts when someone sends them? Now, I'll just give you an example of that. If I just press, not that one. I could have pressed that one. I think it's this one. I can do it like that. That was the last donation alert 17 days ago that somebody sent when we did a live stream, and it tells you the amount, and it said, good luck. Would you like me to do that? Yes or no? I can leave it on the screen now. That's actually the taskbar that's in the donation alerts tab. But obviously, if no one sends one, then it won't show a new one. If someone sends one, it does, and I can scroll and have more of them. Mostly it's questions, like someone asked about my wife. Or how did your mum agree with your wife? Did my mum like my wife? Yes. So if anyone would like me to leave that on the screen, I've got one Y for yes. Привет from Manchester, the traveling penguin. Oh, sound and see you soon in Moscow. Krasnoyarsk Oblast. Yeah, I'm in Narofomynsk Oblast or Moscow Oblast. Narofomynsk region. Oh, we're in Manchester. Can you bring some Maltesers? That would be very nice. Making a video about your wife's job. I think a lot of people would be interested. Yeah, I could do that. She doesn't really like being on camera. That's the number one problem. She's okay with it. You probably noticed her walking with me when I did the video going to Vnukovo metro station. We actually started that out at the metro, and then we went on to Moscow after that. We ended it at Park Pobeda, which is where the second longest escalator in Moscow is. I've got one yes. So you want me to keep it on the screen, or does it kind of bother everybody that you see that donation alerts thing? I don't have a way to pop those alerts up on the screen. Sam sent a super chat. Thank you. For a coffee, use an offcut of carpet under your office chair to protect you. Yes, Sam, that's what I've done today. But the problem with that is, I don't think I can show it, can I? The problem with that is, you're going to see my lounge room now. Now, there's not a piece of carpet between the sofa and the television now. There was a piece of carpet right there. And now I've slid it over underneath the chair here, Sam, as a test to see if I can if I can roll the chair around. Where have I gone? Oh, sorry, that was very quick. Oh, let's just get that like that. I think that's good. So yes, thank you for the super chat. That's very nice. Super chats and super stickers are quite similar. Super stickers mostly are little emojis that come up. Super chats generally have questions in them. You can also do super thanks in the comment section of any video on the channel. And they happen occasionally, mostly just people making comments, which is good. So yes, I do have a carpet square underneath, an offcut of carpet. It was a small rug that we bought when we moved in here because there was no carpet here at all. We realized it's actually small, but it's good. You know how you want to sit on the sofa and have some shaggy carpet under your feet? So yeah, I've dragged it over here. Now, the thing is, I literally can just roll it a tiny bit because it's very thick carpet, and then I can spin the chair around to get in and out of it. But ultimately, there's no damage underneath the floor because it's a little bit noticeable. There was actually a small table right here, or a small dining room table, and we moved it into the kitchen right there behind. So thank you, Sam, for the super chat. The only thing with putting this big donation thing right here is it takes up a lot of the screen. And yeah, should probably send myself one, shouldn't I? Just to see that it works. Hamio was the last person. 17 days ago. That was the last live stream. Wow. Yeah, g'day from Fremantle. Amazing subway station. Yeah, that was Vnukovo Airport, or Airport Vnukovo Station. That's literally, going there, it's about 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes maximum from my door to the check-in counter platform level. If I take a taxi home from there, from arrivals, it's a slip road out of the airport, down the highway, and then we're almost the next town from the airport. So I think I timed it at 12 or 13 minutes on one of the trips when we came back. So it's very close and it's very easy. Well, not really easy to go there, but it's easier to go there to make that. A lot of people have asked me to go to Saitek metro station. That's the newest one that actually opened, I think, the day before or day after the Vanukovo airport station. That's in the one of the northern lines at the end of one of the particular lines that go north of Moscow. Saitek station. Safety in Moscow is number one. That's pretty true. Depends on what you're doing safely or unsafely. Love to see the Dockers. Thank you. Yes. Sure. Thank you so much. Oh, there's lots of notifications on my phone. Yeah, if anybody's part of my Telegram channel, Traveling with Russell channel, I do post a lot more things daily, particularly photos and things that I go out and do and see, and I like to post photos of that. So can you include some interview of some of the normal Russian people about shops they prefer? It's very difficult to film people just poking a microphone in their hand or in their face and asking questions if I don't know them. It's very difficult. It may seem very simple, and some other people's videos make it look simple, but not everybody knows your intentions of what you're filming or what you're asking. I might just hide the donation alerts. If one comes up, then I'll put it on the screen. I think that's okay. If someone sends any to me, then I will do that. Home in Russia photos Moscow. Homes in Russia photos Moscow. I'm trying to do more home videos, tours, but not really. Even the two different real estate agents that I've contacted aren't willing to have me make videos at places that are for sale because they think that it's a problem with the owners. They think I've got ulterior motives why I want to film someone's apartment. So, yeah, some things sound really easy to do. It takes up space. Fireflux, yes, it does take up space. Yeah, this is screen sharing basically, so I took it off the screen sharing. So yeah, what Russian words have you learned? Polysos. Polysos. I think that's the right word. I learned that. Well, I already knew that, but yesterday when I went to the BattleBots or Fighting Robot League Championships, one of them looked like one of those robot vacuums, and the guy said it on the PA a few times. So I live near John Curtin on Holland Street. Yes, we used to live when I wasn't in high school then. We lived across in the old apartments. Well, they're old now, from the monument. So, you know, the monument, there's a monument in Fremantle that overlooks the whole of Fremantle. And there's some apartments. They're one level or two-story apartments. They would be in Australia, but one level apartments in Russia. And we lived there for a couple of years. That was actually back when the jail was open. That's how long ago that was. There's a Fremantle prison, which is now closed. It's a museum. And we could hear the announcements from the loudspeaker that the time in the yard is starting or over. So yeah, I know roughly where you are. I heard that Russia only accepts pristine American dollars for exchange to rubles and are rejecting most dollar bills. That's everywhere. If I go to Bali, which I've been to quite a few times, I know when I was working on cruise ships, I bring US currency with me. And even in Bali, they don't accept all US notes or all US banknotes. So I don't think it's just a Russia thing. That's everywhere. You know, if it looks like it's got a little fold or a tear in the corner, they didn't like it. I've actually even had it in Australia when I went to the currency exchange when I was bringing US dollars cash home with me. Excuse me. And they were like, oh, we can't take this one. I'm like, oh, well, here's another one, you know, because I was only changing so much. Good to see you are. You're enjoying the last days of summer. Yes. I'm dragging out my shorts wearing every day, an extra day. It was a little bit cold last night. Oh, cool. I got home, it would have to have been 9 or 10 p.m. Oh, 10 p.m., right, because I checked what time the buses were, and I got the train home back to Prelivka, the D4 train, and it was a bit cool. And I could see the smoke coming from your breath. That was a little bit cool. 7 in a row. Yes. Yeah, that's just the thing that some people do, you know, 7 vlogs in 7 days. Could be 3 vlogs in 3 days. I could get tired of doing it after 2 days, and it may not be a thing. You know, so go find Jackson Hinkle. I'm not sure who he is. Hi, everybody. Boss, hello. Read. I'm not sure what that is, Robert. Thank you. How have you been feeling? All better? Yes. Yeah. So it would have been 2 weeks ago when I did that live stream, and I had a bit of a small cold or a flu. It was very, very, very small cold or flu. Yeah, it's basically gone now. Still got remnants of it on the table here with my cough lozenges, and I'm now got some lemon drinking water. Well, it's just water basically, but it's lemon flavored. You can get it in strawberry as well and all sorts of different flavors. So drinking more water. And my wife brought me some strawberry yogurt, and she lost a bet earlier, so she had to buy me a bounty as well. So she got me the big triple bounty. This with 3 pieces inside. She lost a bet earlier on today that if she loses, she'd have to buy me a bounty, and she brought one home from work. So the 2 new stations are very nice. Yes, I mean it's always a little bit interesting to go see new stations. They don't necessarily always do all of the gardening outside. They still got little bits and pieces to finish when they do open them. So the Vnukovo Airport one I know from the last year when we've flown in and out a couple of times. They were doing a lot of work across the street from the arrivals and departures where the entry would be on the street level of it. Moscow is the best city in the world. That's always everybody. I would say Perth is the best city in the world. Moscow is the best city. Prelivka is the best city in the world. And when I say that, people, Prelivka, ha 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 ha. Where you live is where you live, right? So the Greenland, how does a ship get stranded? I've not actually. I've only saw this very briefly. This story about this ship. I think it ran aground, didn't it? I've actually had it happen to me once in Bermuda when I was on Norwegian Crown. We were going between Hamilton and the Royal Navy dockyard, and the ship ran up on a sandbar, and we had to wait for the tide to essentially refloat the ship because it couldn't get dragged off by tugs, and the ship couldn't move itself because it went up on a sandbar. It was only for about 6 or 8 hours. So yeah, it can happen. Is iPhone coming to Russia? Yes, it is, David. Very much coming. Yeah, you can actually now place orders already. You could put a deposit down probably at least a month ago with one of the websites that I look at. MVideo is one of the electronics stores that I've filmed inside. They didn't know the pricing until it was all released with the Apple release. So you could put a deposit down and that amount would come off what the final retail price will be. So yeah, I think it's no more than 7 days after the American release you can get it in Russia. I think maybe it's less than 7 days. So there are no big hypermarkets as you show in Moscow in some of the post-Soviet countries. Most of them are very small. I did show 2 videos when I was in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. And they've got, I wouldn't say they're hypermarkets, they're big supermarkets. I just filmed in 2 shops as an example of a smaller store and a normal supermarket. That one that I went to, the second one was quite big. It would be bordering on being a hypermarket. So yeah, they do have them. They're just not covered on YouTube. There's a lot of gaps in the content on YouTube. Telegram, yes, Traveling with Russell channel on Telegram. I just type that in and it'll be there. Good to see you're looking well, always enjoying your content. Thank you, Darren. Or maybe it's Giles Darren or Darren Giles. Thank you so much. Houses, they are nice. Yes, I would love to film more of them. It's just not as easy as I thought, where someone would just, come along, come for a walk through, film it. It I guess they think that, it isn't helpful, whatever I do, in terms of putting it on YouTube for other people to view it. So yeah, I'm just scrolling. Love your content. I hope to travel to Russia because all the supermarket food looks so good. Yes. do more videos in production factories. Yeah, that's really down to the companies, like particularly the supermarket companies or the food companies, having things like the two that I've done where I went to the fish factory and the bread factory were press trips, or fam trips, they call them in travel industry, press trips. So I went along on both of them as part of press and made a video on each of them. Because they've also brought some TV channels there. There were some like mummy bloggers or vloggers, Instagrammers as well when I did that. So how does your wife react when when people recognize in the street? She's a little bit embarrassed. She thinks it's funny. She's always a little bit shocked, especially when they might mention which video, like it's a supermarket video or something that seems very trivial, like the Pitorichka videos, which is one of the supermarkets here. And both the two videos have got just on 1 million views each. So 2 million views of a video, that's a possibility of meeting people, right, who may recognize me, particularly if I go to events. We were recognized on the plane when we were flying to Australia back in March. So yeah, she finds it funny. And it shows how small or big or small the world is, right? Yesterday I was out at this BattleBots event and nobody recognized me for the whole day. So it's very weird. I can go to one place, get recognized 6 or 10 times, and go to the next place and no one recognizes me. So Ionis, hello. I know you're part of Telegram. How's it going? How has the internet impact you or your community? I won't say community. Mean it's not something that I chat to my neighbor about the price of food. I mean, it is noticeable that there is differences in prices. It's really down to what you eat or drink or buy on a daily basis. Where some things have gone up a little bit, a tiny bit. Some things have gone up and come back down. My wife and I eat very similar things daily, weekly, monthly, so I wouldn't say our prices have changed a whole lot. 9% might seem like a whole lot. It really also then goes back to what you earn, to what you spend. Your community part, I couldn't really quite answer that as a question. So, do I eat sausages that cause cancer? I shouldn't be using my phone next to my ear. Isn't that also a problem? Having a phone next to your ear for prolonged times. There's so many of those things that can happen. Don't use talcum powder. In America, there was a big thing about talcum powder and people suing, I think it's Johnson & Johnson for use of talcum powder. Peli sauce. Yes, a vacuum cleaner. Peli sauce. Did I say Peli sauce? Or dust sucker, I think isn't that the Russian translation of Peli sauce? Would I do a vlog at Sheremetyevo Airport? I was thinking of doing the video on the train on the Aero Express going there. That's a possibility. I think. No, wait. Are we flying? No. When did I fly? Oh, when we went to Australia in March, we flew out of Sheremetyevo. It's really on the opposite side of Moscow to where we live. Like literally, we're in the southwest. It's in the northwest of Moscow. It's really the opposite side of where I live. To get there from here, it's probably an hour by car even, or taxi, depending on traffic. Thomas Lee, hello. SciTech, yes. Physical and Technical Institute is the name of the metro station in the north. Yes, Ixander M. Yeah, that's the station that I want to go to make a video. There's also a bit of a quirky story about it. If anyone's from Moscow, about quite a few years ago, I think it was the students or people that went to that university or were in that area, they put stickers and little logos to encourage the Moscow Metro to build a station to that university. And that would be the next station. It didn't end up on the line that it is now, but they put stickers on another line nearby. And then they put stickers all over Moscow as if that was going to be a station that exists, and it didn't at the time when they did it. And now that they built it, it's actually not, the station is not immediately next to the station when you come out of it. The institute or the university isn't. And it's a bit of a walk to get there. Like, I think it's over 1 kilometer away. So there isn't a direct, there's not exactly there's a reference to the university and the station, but they're not immediately next to each other. Normally when you come out of a metro station, it's immediately where something is, where it's named after. When you're filming, it makes interesting backdrop, especially at the airport video. People kept looking while you were filming. Yes, it's normally where, Mozzie, where people hear me speaking English, and that's where they kind of get that double take and turn around, and that's where it looks a little bit more like they're staring, because they just hear me speaking English, not Russian, or not holding my camera and speaking Russian on the video. So fall is coming slowly. Yeah, you can slowly see all the leaves coming off the trees. Not probably fully yet where there's just leaves everywhere, but slowly they're falling off. One starts around $900. I think you're talking about the iPhone 15, right? I know when I compared it with the price in Australia, it's about 500. Okay, I was looking at the top model, the 15 Pro Max titanium 1 terabyte one. It's about $500 less in Australia. Some things now with the dollar being stronger, it's cheaper in Australia. Like the Samsung watch. I don't wear a watch at all. You can see I don't have a suntan where my watch wrist is. And I would really like to get the Samsung smartwatch, Samsung Watch 6. And I went to go look at it in the Samsung store, and it works out cheaper in Russia than it is in Australia for the exact model from the original Samsung shop, not just going to one of the NVIDIA or DNS store. Can you go to churches? Lily Flower. My sister's name is Flower, by the way. That's her last name when she got married. Sarah Flower. And the Flower household. Churches, I don't really personally go to churches. Some of them don't allow you to film, particularly some of the bigger churches like in Moscow. You can kind of look like you're just taking some photos and be a bit quiet about it. Obviously, I narrate my videos. It's a bit hard to talk and walk through a church, where churches are very quiet when you go in there. I haven't been to Armenia, no. Oh, hello from the other side of the D4. Wow. Yeah, I was on it yesterday, going from Prelivka to, I got off at Minskaya station. And then I went one station from Minskaya to Park Pobede. And then I went on the line to Kroka City to, I don't know the name of the station off the top of my head. But whatever that station is, where Kroka City is on the northwest of Moscow. So I've not done any further than Minskaya yet. So I am planning to go on it. I'm just trying to think how to make the video, because obviously there's a ton of stations to cover if you were to get off at a station and film something. Do you think I should just do a general overview of me getting on, riding it to the other end, getting off at the other end? Because there's 30 plus stations. It's pretty neat, some of the stations, the infrastructure they built that links the stations with the metros. I'm just trying to think how best to cover that. With the truck convention, urban transport videos be published next week? I've got all of those videos. I'm a bit worried about the truck convention video because of the sound quality hasn't come out correctly, because I had problems with their microphone. If anyone does or doesn't know, I went to the truck convention, was it called ComTrans? And my microphones wouldn't work. And I got all the way there, couldn't figure it out. And then got all upset about it, went home. I was just so disappointed that day. Went back again, and they wouldn't work a second time. And I ended up having to contact Rode, the microphone company in Australia. They have a pretty good online thing where you can send messages. They contact you back. And I did a few things, and I thought I got it working, and second time it didn't work. So I kind of got through filming it, but I'm just hoping that the sound is come out better than what I thought. So yes, definitely starting tomorrow. I'm hoping to get a video out by tomorrow, or one video. I also filmed at the robot convention. It wasn't a convention, championships yesterday. So I've got, Urban Forum, truck convention. MCD4 video I've not filmed. I really need to go on it, on a whole trip of it. I might do that tomorrow, the next day, and just go on the whole trip, because it's actually about 2 hours from Prelivka to the opposite end, and just see what feels comfortable to film, and then figure out how I want to put it together as a video. Because if I was to get off at each station and then just catch the next train, which you can do, it might be more than an hour and a half video. And of course, they are popular, those videos, but I don't want to have too long a video and people don't like it. So, is tap water safe to drink? Yes, it is. Yes, we don't. We drink bottled water, or my wife does. But yes, you could. Absolutely. We love Bounty bars. Yes. I've got one right here. I've really like Bounty bars as well. It was one of my childhood. Dobra Bounty bar. Yes, I don't have. Isn't that? That's his. Yeah, good Bounty bar. Dobra Bounty bar. I've just missed my train. I've just missed my train on Kalush Sky Station because of your stream. What? Sorry. You missed your train. Last night when I came back from the Crocus City to get on the D4 to come back to Moscow, Prelivka, it's the same line that's got the original Kiev to Prelivka line. So that's still running, but obviously people naturally are catching the D4. And I looked at the thing saying the D4 was coming first, so I went to there. The D4 didn't turn up on time, and the Prelivka one came before it. And then the next one came, we got home, right? But everybody waiting. I like the way you steer away from politics and do not do what journalists are no longer doing. That's if you have ever done their job. Well, not really. No, I've never been a journalist. I guess making videos and content is that kind of thing. Thank you. Yeah, I don't really put it as part of my videos. I just do what I do, film what I do, see what I do. I hope you've got home, or not, that you missed your train. Sorry. Maybe you got your headphones in and you can listen to it on the train at the same time. That train, if anyone is on my Telegram, I did post a couple of photos of that train yesterday, because not every train is the new train yet. They're having a gradual rollout of different rolling stock on the line. So, where are you from? I'm originally from Perth, Australia. Perth, Western Australia. Where is Wildcat? Is Wildcat another person that's normally in the chat here? Curious, did any of your cruise ship channel subs migrate to this channel, or is it basically a whole new audience? I'm not sure. I think I might have I should put a community tab post on the cruise channel asking if you know about this channel. Maybe a few people did. I know there's someone that comments quite a lot. There's a couple of people that comment that were really like OG channel members from the cruise channel. I also, when I was working on the cruise ships, I got recognized a lot from those videos, particularly because I filmed a lot on the ship I was working on. And then when people cruised, they'd probably looked at some YouTube videos and recognized me. That happened by the end. Probably 5 people per day would recognize me. And in the shop where I was working on board, obviously there's a lot of people that come and go in there. So most people recognize it from the voice. So they'd watch the video and then recognize, oh, are you the guy on the YouTube channel? And they're like, yeah. And it was like that. Waiting for the Chicago Bears game to start, Sam. Oh, there's some NFL today. Yeah, Sunday, right? So I watched the Formula One earlier. And at some point, there is the Rugby Union World Cup Australia match. I don't know Australia who's they're playing, but I know there's a match. And then the golf would be on. And then sometimes there's motorsport on Sundays as well. I watch a lot of streaming sport on my computer, which has got different channels, and it's essentially the English commentary, or like the Formula One was the Sky Sports F1 feed. So Do you miss anything related from Australia? Not really. Probably my mum's Sunday roast, or going out with my parents, and we go to a Chinese restaurant in Baldivis. My parents live in Baldivis. It's sort of just tiny, silly things that I miss. Driving to work, I was working at Coles in Cannington at Carousel Shopping Centre, and the few people that I work with there, I miss that kind of interaction of people. It was just a nice, good laugh going to work. It didn't make going to work hard, because I knew what I was doing at work, and the people that you work with are really nice. And then the customers too, right? The people that come shopping, help them, and it works out good. Could you have your wife say hi in camera? Maybe say something a little. She's now watching TV in the other room. So I do ask her every time, will she be on a live stream? So today, if I can squeeze her in the background of a video, I'll get her to do something or say hello. Have you learned much Russian language? A little bit. I can say enough things to have a very basic conversation with somebody. Where am I from? Where are you from? How was your day? Things like that. Do you live on mainly you or have savings of another job? I was working on cruise ships when I did have a job. I will actually switch off this donation alerts because I don't want it to stop sharing. Let me just put that like that. Put that like that. Sorry. I've just got the tab open on my other screen so I can see if anyone sends any. YouTube is it. I don't work while I'm here in Russia. I don't have a job in Russia. I can work here because I've got residency. I can happily apply for a job and get a job and go to work. But I don't. My skill set would be really suited a lot to supermarkets and shopping centers, particularly supermarkets, and doing something around that. But I'm trying to make YouTube a thing. It sometimes isn't a thing, and it's not a good thing, and sometimes it's a good thing. Obviously, there's a lot of changes that happened 2 years ago, right when I started my channel, where they demonetized Russian viewers when Russian viewers watch YouTube. So if you're inside Russia watching YouTube, doesn't matter who you watch, you don't get shown ads. So if you've got videos that are shown to a Russian audience, the AdSense doesn't come back to you because it's a Russian viewer. And you can see the audience. Russian audience on my videos is just under 20%. It's not as high. It's high on some videos, but very low on others. That's the bit that's very hard to understand and even explain about, because the algorithm of YouTube is just impossible to explain. How's Moscow? Moscow is really good, Peter. Nice weather today. My wife had a client this afternoon. We went out we didn't go out for lunch. We went out shopping to buy lunch. And I actually posted the photo of the butcher where we went and bought chicken from on my Telegram channel. Привет, Russell. Hello. Здравствуйте. Очень приятно. I think something about Prolivka Sergio. I'm sorry. Привет, Sam. What's going on? You've probably been asked this many times, but how long can you remain in Russia? What type of visa do you have? I have a residency visa. It's initially for 3 years, and then you can, after the first year, you can apply for the second stage of it, which is an indefinite visa, which is forever. Because I'm married here and my wife is Russian, there's obviously certain categories of the application that are speeds up the process of applying and helps you get your visa easier. The more evidence and proof and things like that. So I'm now in the process of doing the paperwork for the next stage of it. We did it a bit later than the first year, but part of that is to do things like my taxes. So I've got to have a tax number and a tax return. You got to lodge a document every year for taxes. and we went a couple of days ago to the town where we had to go to do that. It's just a matter of getting certain documents prepared and making copies of it, get things stamped, make another copy of it, go to another office, get someone else's approval for this document and that document. It's a little bit of running around, but you just have to bite your tongue, do what you need to do, lodge the documents and wait. So yeah, it's all in the process. 90-day private visa, yes. Yeah, I've done the business visa before, which is 1 year, and you can stay in the country for 90 days and then leave and come back again. I've not had a private visa. It's a little bit more paperwork for the family members to do. For the private visa, the business visa is a little bit easier. David, if you need help, I can give you the contact of a visa agent in Moscow if you need help. You can send me a message or like an email from the email address in all the description of all the videos. It's like a Gmail address. I can give you the link to these guys that do this, and they can, put you on the right path for the visas. Watched how to use a smart elevator video. Do they ever Oh, yes, the elevator video. Excuse me. Yes, one of my more popular videos. They rarely malfunction. Who looks after the maintenance of the elevators? On the cruise ships, they've got electricians, they've got plumbers, they've got stonemasons. They've got the part of the deck and engine or the engine department. They've actually got hotel engineers, they're called. So they're essentially an engineer that works in the engine room, but they work with the hotel side of the ship. So they're called hotel engineers, and they're just super smart handyman that know everything about the ship. When the ships are built initially, the deck and engine team are on the ship about a year before the ship leaves the shipyard. So they know every intricate working of the ship. Is there an option to use stairs instead of the elevators? Absolutely, yes. Every bank of elevators has a staircase right next to it. So absolutely. Yeah, they rarely get stuck. Mostly it's from too much weight on them or people fiddling with the door mechanism, and that's about it. The sensors just go a bit dicky or a bit faulty. So hotel engineers, and there's also even stainless welders. There's welders, carpenters, tilers, stonemasons, upholsterers, tailors. There's one of everybody on a cruise ship. Do you ever watch Russian Soviet movies? My wife watches a lot of them, and I sometimes sit with her not understanding them, but she tells me about them, particularly at Christmas and during the holidays of December, January. There's a lot of the old nostalgic Soviet movies that are very Christmas related and holiday related. Push likes. Thank you, Thomas. 110 of them. Thank you so much. Yes, don't forget again, if anyone wants to love the channel more, there is a way to donate via the link, the donation alerts, SberBank, and then the super chats. If anyone sends a super chat, I'll put it on the screen. And if you've got a question, I'll happily read it and answer it. What are you going for, Russell? I'm not sure what that question means. How am I going? I'm going good, I guess. 10,000 noodles. I've not had noodles in a while. Watches are for boomers. Baby boomers. Yeah, I really just want one of those smartwatches. The one that's got the pulse and the heart rate, blood rate, all these sleep things, GPS, and it would pair nicely with my phone. Fortuna, David, hello. Fortuna, David. I got to say David, not David. That's the Italian version. Fortuna. I was watching the Formula One today, by the way, and Ferrari won. Finally, a Red Bull didn't. What's the lifespan of a cruise ship? And what happens to them after they are decommissioned? Most of them end up getting scrapped. A lot of them get sold on to other cruise lines. Particularly during COVID, it happened where cruise lines either decommissioned ships and sent them for scrapping. They do it either in Turkey, India, I think Pakistan, Bangladesh. I think there's a couple of different kind of places. They run them up on the beach at high tide, a low tide, high tide, and they just chop them up with welders, and they take out all of the interior fittings and sell them. And the towns nearby where they do that, you can go and buy things. So chairs, tables, all of the furniture, even the gym equipment from the gym. A lot of times when the cruise lines sell a ship, they get a price from the company that will scrap the ship, but it's as is. So the cruise line will take certain things off of value, but otherwise it just doesn't have any. It's just too costly to do that. Why would we need 5,000 mattresses? What are we going to do with them? So they just leave them on there. And in the towns, they sell all the stuff. The ship may get sold to another cruise line, and they will change the name, repaint it, maybe remodel it slightly, put it on in service as another ship. That's happened a lot with cruise lines. I'd say 20 years, 25 years. I'm not sure what the average lifespan is, but hello from Sweden. Hello. How is IKEA doing? We don't have IKEA in Moscow anymore. That's actually my number one viewed video, is the one where I went to Mega shopping center, which has got the IKEAs attached. The shopping centers are actually owned by the company that owns IKEA, and they own the shopping centers. So they built the shopping center, they attached to IKEA on one side, there's the big Ashan hypermarket on the other, and that's my most viewed video, 1.5 million views. Always interesting content. Thank you, Derek. You're very welcome. Have you ever been by another side of fence? Yeah, lots of people, Lyra, lots of people ask me about this, particularly Russians, when they meet me and talk about Australia. They know about this rabbit-proof fence. It's the longest straight fence in the world. I'm not sure if it's the longest fence in the world, but I've never really been in the outback and seen this rabbit-proof fence. It's a very long fence that protects one side from the other, initially from rabbits or vermin getting into other parts of the country. Do you miss the kangaroos in Russia? My wife, we went when we've been home this year. We went to a golf course where they've got kangaroos jumping around very close. You park your car up and you can go to the first tee. I think it's the first tee, right where you park your car and see kangaroos. They live there. They love the green grass, the shade, the water, the sprinklers. So no, that's pretty much, you'd rarely see them in the wild unless you're really looking for them. I mean, occasionally I'd see them driving to and from work because it's a bit of a rural area where I'd drive through to get to work. So I don't really miss kangaroos. Tell us about navigation in Moscow and what would you like to improve? Yeah, I mean, okay, I catch the metro. The size of the bus going from Prelivka to Salara shopping center and then Salarova metro station could be a bigger bus. It's actually a new model of bus, but it's not any bigger than the old model of bus. Metro is very, very accurate. Was it like 99.9% accurate? Every 90 seconds in peak times, the metro runs. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing about Moscow generally. It's living, what if you don't have a car and don't need a car and don't want one, the convenience of public transport is abundant in Moscow. I mean, even in other cities, when we went to Ufa as well, you can catch the train, you can catch the bus. It is what it is in some places, but better and worse in other places. I mean, even people in Prelivka complain about the buses that run here. I'm now in a Telegram group that's got a lot of, it's just 24/7 complaining about things, but that's normal with any city council administration, right? So what would I like to improve? Not really many things. It's very niggly things. The line for the bus, people don't want to line up and they push in line to get on my bus. That bothers me a lot. Maikino station. Yes. Maikino station. Yeah, the only metro station in Moscow built by a private company is Crocus City. You sent me PayPal. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Christine, if you don't mind me reading your name, I'm sorry. Christine. Wow, thank you. Thank you for your wonderful videos. I'm reading from my phone, by the way. Thank you so much. The PayPal's really nice, and I tend to just clump it together and then buy something with the money. The next thing I'm thinking about, I keep changing my mind about what I want to get. I try to make a point of the super chats and the PayPal and buy me a coffee as well as another one to buy something that's for use with me making videos. So I'm trying to now decide, do I want to change the microphone or not? There's a new model of the microphone that I use that's just been released. So yeah, the point is not to just take the money and blow the money and, okay, I didn't pay for this bounty bar, but just go and buy endless bounty bars. My wife paid me back a debt. So yeah, that's not the point of me getting super chats and things like that. It's always just to improve the channel and the quality. Even the streaming thing that you're seeing here, where you can put these things on the screen. This is now a paid version. I used to use the free one, and I now pay monthly for this. So this is helpful to make the videos better. So new subscriber, thank you so much. Your first secret channel. It's not so secret if it's called your first secret channel. Why do you live in Russia? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe my wife. That might be a small reason why. We chose to live here. Yes. From Mark and Sanderlin, New Jersey. Finally on my day off. You are awesome. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. From Mark and Sanderlin. Maybe that's Sandra. Thank you, from New Jersey. On the cruise ships, unfortunately, they make fun of New Jersey. And like, particularly when the cruise director asks, where's everybody from, when they do it on stage, and most of the guests on the Carnival cruise line ships is about 95% American. And people will yell out different states and things like that. The last ship I was on, we were out of Galveston, Texas. So a lot more people from Texas, Alabama, Louisiana. And then people from New York, a few people will cheer. From New Jersey, and the cruise director will go, oh, what exit? Because obviously there's highways in New Jersey, and people live off one of the exits of the highways. And, the people from New Jersey laugh about it, but he's a little bit mocking New Jersey. But, it's a good thing, right? It's just in humor. When you move to Russia, how you get used to winter? Yeah, it is. If you come the first time and you've not experienced cold weather, like -15, -20, excuse me, it can be a culture shock. Not culture shock, but it can be just a shock in terms of the weather. Of course, I have proper jacket, pants, gloves, hat, the whole lot for going out. So you get used to it. I actually prefer winter because I know it's going to be cold. I like it when it snows because I know it's snowing. I know it's cold. It tends to be a bit warmer when it snows than when it's just cold and icy and freezing. So I'm happy for winters when we have them. So when we have them, it's once a year. So whereas like now, for instance, okay, this is like the end of summer, but like today was beautiful, but I woke up not knowing it was going to be that beautiful. After last night on the way home, it was cold, and I had a jacket, but could have had another jacket. So yeah, it can be rainy one day, cloudy one day, beautiful and sunny one day right now. So thank you to everybody watching, by the way. 135 likes. Thank you so much. It looks like people want me to do vlogging. Maybe I'll do one and see how it goes. The thing with vlogging, right? It's always that spontaneous, unplanned type videos. And I'm a bit more of a person who likes to plan that I'm going to go out tomorrow, make a video, go to this place, and that's my video. Not just, oh, what are we going to do today? Let's think of something. Let's go here. Let's maybe not go there. Maybe this isn't good. That's not good. And I don't like that type because I like it to be a little bit structured. This is where I'm going to go. This is what I'm going to film. So yeah, I'm waiting for the Cincinnati game. Oh, okay. Oh, so there is NFL games. When I was working on cruise ships, I used to, I was always working when the football was on, but I really don't mind watching like Monday Night Football, or at least a Sunday game, Monday Night Football. Thoroughly enjoy your content. Thank you. About Russia. Interesting to see how others deal with daily life, not to mention the sceneries. Yes. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a very big place. I mean, Moscow, even the Moscow region where I am, I mean, there's never ending content without me even leaving Moscow. So as it was with Sam's. Did First Channel invite you to Malakov's show as it was with Sam's Russian Adventures video? No, I didn't get invited. I do have regular contact with Sam. We've never met in person. We are planning to. He's in Vladimir, which is a couple hours by train away from Moscow. But yeah, I do chat to him daily. We do voice chatting. We do video calls. He was really scared going on that show and panicked and worried, and that it could turn against him in terms of how they film it and how they perceive it and how it comes across. I mean, if you watch the video on his channel, Sam's Russian Adventure YouTube channel, that last video he put on there is really good. I didn't realize, he didn't tell me he was vlogging that part of it, going from home to the place to filming it to ending it. I didn't know that he did that, and it really came out really well. It was actually, I don't know when it was on TV. I think it was on TV in the last couple of weeks, but it was probably a month or more ago, maybe 2 months ago, that he did that. And he was just like panicking so much about what would come of it. And obviously he speaks fluent Russian, so the show itself was easy for him to be on. Obviously he was on TV, and big deal. But yeah, I didn't get the invite. He did tell me he was coming to Moscow, though. I think that must have been when we were in Ufa, because that was about 2 months ago as well. I'm pretty sure I couldn't meet up with him because of that we were on that Ufa trip. He's a very pleasant man. He could shop at the Kroger down the road from me, and I'd enjoy watching. Yes, I think, are you talking about me, 10,000 Noodles, or Sam? Thank you. Yes. So is it spring in Australia now? Now is the end of winter. Always when the football season finishes, which is, for Australian rules, it's the last Saturday in September. Rugby league is the week before it, so that'll be next weekend. And then it basically goes straight to summer. We always say winter straight to summer. And the cricket starts. Is it going to a prelific? Yes, MCD4. Yeah, I talked about it at the start of the video. I went on it yesterday. We went on it with my wife 3 or 4 days ago. I want to go and do it the whole trip, one end to the other. Then I want to make a video about it as well. So I might just do one day going on a trip on it. I'm going to take a bite of my Bounty. Sorry. I just need a little bit of sugar. Oh, that's really bad of me to do that on camera. I'm very sorry. I think it's really cool. I've not done any of the other MCD trains, but the fact that it ends in a Prelivka where I live, it's really super handy. I've not rode it past Minskaya station yet, so I've not done the bit that goes after Kiev station where it kind of circles around Moscow and goes to the northeast of Moscow. I'm going to have a drink now. Yeah, I've got this lemon fresh in a can today. That's the first time I've had it in a can. Very nice. It's lemon lime. It's like a Sprite with mint. So I'm really looking forward to going on it more. The problem with the MCD for me is, from my house, it's actually on Google Maps. It says it's an 18-minute walk to the station. The walk to the bus stop to get the bus to Salarevo metro station is about a 5-minute walk, maybe 7. So the train is far more comfortable. There's more seats. It's the first stop at the starter end of the line, but you've got to get to the station to get on the train. So not necessarily quicker to get to Moscow, because it's further to walk to get on the train. Are they easy to go along with? Yes. Yeah. People that I meet, obviously, after you get to know them and they get to know you, they warm up to you a lot more. They're very interested in where I'm from, why I live here, why I live in a Prelivka, even when I meet people locally here. People are always shocked, how long I've lived here. Going on my first cruise. I'm not given up on cruise ships. Obviously, since COVID, I've not been back on the ships. I've still got a visa to get back into America. I've still got all the documents to get on the cruise ship. Everything's completely valid. It's just not in the plans immediately to do that. It was at one point last year, or the year before, last year. It was really kind of touch and go. Find a job, get on the ship, earn some money. How about Canada? I don't know about Canada. What would you like to know about Canada? I'm watching from St. Petersburg right now. Ads, hello. Thank you, anybody who's doing any kind of donations to the channel. Sorry if I'm always mentioning it. It's really weird. When I don't mention it, people ask me about it. And when I do mention it, then people say you're talking about it too much. But it's just a show of gratitude or thanks to everybody. By not being overly filmed on this channel makes even more interesting to us viewers. Thank you, Mozzie. Thank you so much. Krasiba. Lana Lesna. It's a great pleasure to watch you. We wish you further development. Thank you. Krasiba. That's like thank you or yes. It's nearly 1 a.m. in Frio. Got to go to bed, so nighty night. See you later. Thank you so much from Fremantle. Yeah, my uncle lives in South Fremantle. If you know 205, he lives on Charles Street, which is the one that's across from South Terrace. I don't know what the name of the pub is called now down there, but 205 is the building across from Charles Street and then South Terrace. My uncle worked on the wharfs. He was a wharfie for a lot of years, my dad's brother. So, am I getting offers from advertisers? No, I'm not, Redneck. I get sometimes junk emails, which are completely silly, offering, to do partnerships. And then when I send them, and because it looks like they're sending a generic welcome email, and then I just reply, "Do you know which country I'm from?" And then they say no. Then I reply, "I'm from Russia." "Oh, we can't send you products," because most of them want me to highlight a product on a video. And if you watch a lot of YouTube, there's a lot of similarities in people's brand collaborations. But obviously, most countries can't post or ship things to Russia right now. So the minute they do that, you can tell then it's obviously that they've not watched my channel when it's a generic email, like what they've sent. "Oh, we like your channel. We watch your channel." You obviously don't if you know I'm in Russia. And you can't post things to Russia to send it to me. So, yeah, no advertising. Yes, not at all. Yeah, I guess going to that robot thing yesterday, I did actually send them a email to the website of the BattleBots Championships, whatever it is. And they said, we'll provide a press ticket or a pass, which is pretty much what I do when I go to the conventions. And I just said, I'll make a video. I mean, I could have not made one and they would have still given me one. But it's just fair that I do that. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Do you plan to try anywhere outside of Australia? I went to Bali and Perth back in March. Actually, interestingly, right when I announced that I was going to go to leave Russia, I lost a ton of subscribers because people weren't going to be seeing Russian content on the channel. It was very strange why and how and what happened. And the minute I put back, I'm in Moscow, and I filmed like a supermarket video straight away when I got back. Everyone was like, "Oh, welcome back, thank you, new subscribers." And it was very interesting why and how and what that happened. So yeah, if I do plan to travel anywhere next, I'm not going to mention it. I'm just going to schedule videos while I'm away. And then the whole thing that's very strange is it's a traveling with Russell channel. So anywhere where I travel, I should make videos and put it on the channel as part of me traveling. And it just was such a very negative reaction to me leaving Russia that it was just, I don't know what to say, really, because it just was strange. How will you do this? Reading, writing, and speaking. Basically, speaking Russian is probably the main thing that I need to learn. Reading and writing, I think, would be very difficult with my age to do that. Reading Russian, I mean, you can read signs, words, the alphabet and things like that. Writing Russian, I think I would never be able to possibly do that. I guess never say never. I guess the thing is to maybe get my wife does English lessons, maybe get that lady to do Russian lessons for me in reverse. Might be a thing to do. I wish you have a nice life. Thank you. Thank you so much. Art Z, hello. Do you lose your citizenship if you decide to immigrate to Russia? No, I don't. No. You can have dual citizenship. It's perfectly okay. Russia allows it. Australia allows it. Completely fine. I can hold both passports and both citizenships. I haven't got citizenship in Russia. I've got residency. The step after the next stage of this visa would be to get citizenship if I choose to. You don't have to. You can have a residency, live here, and not have to be a citizen. That's your choice, or their choice, my choice, or whatever. Bureaucracy, no matter where you're from. Do you like the Moscow? I get this question a lot. And I explained this to somebody yesterday because I chatted to a while. It was sort of an easy conversation. And it's a very hard answer to just say yes, because there's a lot of then what would be considered propaganda. That if I say I love Russia, or I like Russia, or I love Moscow, I like Moscow, Prelivka where I am, then people will say, well, you don't now like Australia and you like Moscow more. And it looks like I'm taking sides in terms of current events in the world. And it's difficult to answer the question as a direct question. I mean, I've lived here a lot of years. Of course, if you don't like somewhere or you don't like it and you just can't live here, you would leave, right? If you don't like a shop, you don't like what they sell, you don't like the taste of their food, you won't buy from there again. You'll buy it somewhere else. And obviously, if I didn't ever like Russia, my wife and I don't know what we'd do. We'd have to come up with a plan to live somewhere else. It seems like a simple question to answer, but then it's an incredible, difficult question to interpret my answer. It really takes people coming to live here or come to Moscow or come to Russia to understand the country, to then make that make your mind up about the place. It's like Australia. You just think of kangaroos, the beach, snakes, spiders, and that mindset about the country. When you get there, it's different, and people don't like it, right? There's a lot of people who they come to live there. They come for a year, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and they leave and go home to the country they're from because they just couldn't make it work. I'm sorry if that's a long answer, if it's nice or not. I don't see any hearts coming up on the screen. There's a thing that sometimes people put hearts and fireworks. So, hi from Boston. I enjoy watching your channel. Thank you so much. The Terran Experience. What language do you speak at home? We speak English. My wife speaks perfectly fine English. She's probably at 97% English. There's sometimes not every word that you learn when you're learning English do you know. So when you get words mixed up, I just correct her. She doesn't like me correcting her, but I do. Russell, people like you, smart and talented, are needed in Russia. It's a pleasure to watch you. Thank you. Wow, that's really nice. My wife needs to read that, and I need to read it to her to tell her that I'm smart and talented. So, since you're from Australia, which country you like the most? Yeah, you see, this Taran, this is the thing, like the previous question. It kind of links together a lot. I'm from Australia. Why did I move here? Because of my wife. And we decided to come to Russia to live here. So Yandex browser has learned to translate streams with a bit of a delay, but at least it's something. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I know Yandex browser, you can watch existing videos and then it can translate the voiceover in Russian, which is super smart. And I am also doing the fixing the subtitles of new videos on the channel. A lot of the older videos, I'm going to go back and rewatch them and retype the Google translation of the subtitles. It takes time though. To watch a 30-minute video takes about 3 or 4 hours, realistically, because you're almost pausing every few seconds to make sure that the sentences are spelt correctly, and there's full stops and exclamation marks. So, and that's interesting. It's doing it in live streams though. That's pretty cool to do that. Just going back to Taran here, which country do you like the most? There's a lot of pros and cons of living in any place in the world. I mean, living in the Maldives, living in Antarctica, it's impossible to, say that there is a perfect place in the world to live. If I read the Telegram channel of the local town here and people's complaining about things, it's all relevant, but, do I complain about the things they're complaining about? No. My complaint is the line for the bus. So, my wife laughs it off because she's like, there's so many other problems in the world, and then you worry about the line at the bus stop. So, hello from Quirky City. Quirky City. I don't know that place, but thank you. Hello. Здравствуйте. Will you start a channel on YouTube or on the social network? I keep calling it Vondikite or VK. YouTube I won't, because it's almost impossible to get views. The algorithm of that is kind of useless. I think Rumble is the one that someone suggested. And Rumble actually put the videos on the channel for you and bring them over from YouTube. VK, I do have a profile page on VK. I'm pretty much doing Telegram as my social network. So the Traveling with Russell channel on Telegram has 1,300 people. And in the chat group that's linked to it, there's more than 400 people. So 3 a.m. and a helicopter started flying over our house. In blue, it's because I'm watching a Russian channel. Yes, in Australia, in Perth, in Perth as well. Mozzie, the Polair, the police helicopters fly over with the big spotlight, and they fly around the suburbs. You'd always hear them. I wonder if they're tracking what you're watching. Close territory. VV Village is a close territory. Our Dachshund land is in that territory. Derek, thank you. VV Village. That will be interesting. I don't know where VV is. It's somewhere in Moscow region. Now, how did you and your wife meet? We met in Thailand on holiday, separate holidays in Thailand. I was actually alone. I used to take holidays alone a lot. I went to Bali mostly, and then I decided, for whatever reason, fate, I guess, I went to Thailand. Actually, I went twice to Thailand on my own. And then Bali, I've been to a million times, because Bali's 3 hours from Perth, and it's a very easy trip to make. Hello from Denmark. Dronning Molly. I'm pretty sure I've got that completely wrong, Stefan. Hello to everyone in Denmark. Did you eat kuzen itochka lately? I haven't. No. Funny enough, Peter, I haven't. Yesterday I had Franklin burgers while I was at this BattleBots thing. There's a shopping center attached to Crocker City, and I went over to have Franklin burgers, which is a really nice, much better version of Kuzni Tochka and Burger King. And they got really nice brioche poppy seed buns. So Rustics, I've not had KFC in a while either. Man, I've just gone off KFC for a little bit. You know how you kind of really love it and really want it, and then magically you don't want it? I walked past Rustics yesterday, but I didn't go there. The one in my town is still KFC because they haven't done the changeover yet. The Rustics that are KFCs are exactly the same. Yeah, Yeah, last time, yeah, I ordered when I got, would have been about 3 weeks ago, like Saturday or Sunday, and I ordered Kuznetochka delivery with Delivery Club. Then they couldn't find the driver, so they cancelled it and gave me a discount code. So I ordered KFC, and it came even quicker than the scheduled delivery. I don't know what they must have told the guy to come faster. Then I ate it, and I just felt really depressed afterwards because I just hadn't had KFC. I just gone off KFC altogether. Rostix, if anyone's not sure, is the new name of KFC in Russia. Rostix was the original company in Russia. Then KFC bought out Rostix many years ago. They converted all the Rostix restaurants to KFCs, and now they're going to be converted back again. Visit flea markets and show the prices. Yeah, flea markets have really got to go to Saturdays and Sundays. So I should do a live stream on a Friday to remind me to go on a Saturday and Sunday. I will go to the Izmailova Kremlin flea market. That's kind of the nice one to go to. There's a few different ones in Moscow, but that one's kind of interesting at the same time. It's got the pretend Kremlin there, if you like, the man-made Kremlin. And then there's a flea market all around it and underneath it and around the back of it. Have you ever bought anything from a decommissioned cruise ship? No, there's a few Facebook groups that do that, like old ship Facebook groups. But it's mostly like really expensive for such silly things that were on the ship. And then the price for them to post it to you is just ridiculous as well, especially if it's heavy. So yeah. How Russell and his wife met. They met while on vacation in Maldives or Bali, as far as I remember. No, well, it was. I wish it was Maldives. No, it was in Thailand. Yes, we've been to Bali though. We actually were in Bali at the same time at one point, and we missed each other in real life by about 2 days in the same place. I must find that photo, and I must put it on my Telegram, because we took the exact same photo in the exact same spot on this island that we both went to, completely at 2 days or 3 days apart, and we didn't know. Happy to find your channel. I'd be happy to meet you someday. Maybe we'll meet one day in Moscow. I also live there. May I ask, how did you and your wife meet? If it's personal, you don't need to answer. Yes, I think we've done over it like 3 times now. Yes, I think you'll end up meeting me by fluke or by chance. Maybe we should arrange a Moscow meetup somehow, somewhere. Camila, hello. We've lost the thought. What's the solution about daily vlogs? Let's take a vote. Well, the Redneck, the poll was about 80% in favor of me doing daily vlogs. I'm just worried that it will kind of change the audience and people won't like it. Because it's, I don't really have the most interesting of life. I guess I do if you kind of watch the videos and the fact that I go and show things. But I just always feel like with vlogging, it's about doing something cool and interesting in every video. And maybe it's not always like that, like going to the shop or going to the store, like today, going to a few different shops. It may not look interesting, but I guess to others it is. I don't really watch many vloggers. I tend to watch channels that have regular content. We're having the referenda here. 14th of October, you need to go to your nearest embassy. It's okay. This is another really okay. So I'm not enrolled to vote. I'm not on the electoral roll, Tim. So I don't have to vote. I removed myself from it quite a lot of years ago because I was working on cruise ships at the time, and it would always never work out that I'd be in Australia during the chance to vote. And if I'm in America, you've got to go to the embassy either in Washington or New York. The embassy in Moscow, I might look it up now and Google it later. When there is a national election, you can't do the postal votes from Russia, although they do everywhere around the world. But in the last election, or the last 2 elections, you couldn't do the postal votes from Russia, which just seems absolutely silly. But I'm not sure about the referendum for October 14th, but I'm not on the electoral roll to have to vote. You can have yourself removed and have a reason for it, like I'm out of the country, which I was for a lot of years with cruise ships. Do you have Manuka honey? What's it like? And is it overhyped and rated? My wife likes honey. Yes, you can get Manuka honey in every supermarket. It's almost like common. My wife loves honey. I don't know about the overhype thing. I think to most Australians it's just honey. It's not different to buying any other honey. My uncle in Perth, in Baldivis, he's a beekeeper. He has a hobby farm, and he makes his own honey. And we have bought like this 1 kilo tubs of honey that he makes and has the whole thing on his property. Otherwise we try and buy it at markets or Sunday markets rather than just buying the supermarket one. Crocodile Dundee. Yes, she's watched Crocodile Dundee. She's actually watched it in Russian. I think she knows about it before me showing it to her. She thinks it's a bit silly, really, because it is a silly movie when you watch it now versus 20, 30 years ago when it first came out. So, what are job opportunities for computer engineers? What is the quality of life like in Russia? I mean, honestly, mate, I'll say this to anybody. You need to come here for a holiday, come and experience life on a day-to-day basis before you make that decision to take a luggage and come and live here, because you're either not going to like it, you're going to like it, you're going to love it, whatever your answer is. And it's just so different for every person. I'm sure there's computer engineer jobs. Obviously, it would help if you spoke Russian, because a lot of jobs are Russian companies that would need Russian. I'm sure there's companies where you wouldn't need it, but do you have the use? I don't have health insurance. No, I did have it. Actually, I didn't even have it in Australia in the last year when I was there. My wife had full health insurance in Australia, although healthcare is free in Australia under the public healthcare system. In Russia, it's also free. I'm not sure technically if I go, I guess because I'm a resident with a visa, it would be also. We can also go to private clinics as well. So I don't know how that works. I don't have health insurance here. I don't even get it when I go on holiday, health insurance. My wife does. She always pays for the travel insurance. Has your wife tried Vegemite? Yes, she doesn't like it. I've given it to her. I've shown it to her, offered it to her, brought it here, given it to friends here. They don't like it. Have you any friends in Russia? Are they Russians? Yes, I do have friends in Russia. Yeah, I've got some Western friends, some British, Australian friends that live here, and Russian friends. Absolutely do. Yes. And a lot of people I've met through Telegram and through YouTube, really. I'm dreaming of seeing a video of fixed price. Are you planning on doing the fixed price tour anytime soon? I can already predict the name of the video. Typical Russian Dollar Tree store. Yes. I won't do Dollar Tree because most people won't reference the Dollar Tree like in America, but Russian typical dollar store. Yes, fixed price. I have done the video in, Chizik's a supermarket. In Svetofor. I've done a couple of videos in Svetofor. Pretty sure if you type that into the search of the channel, that will come up. That's pretty close to a dollar store as well. But it's got really not just that one price. Fixed price doesn't have a fixed price either. There's like all sorts of prices in fixed price. I went and bought the baking trays, the aluminium trays that you use for cooking in the oven, the ones that are disposable ones. I went and bought them at the fixed price last week because they're really cheap there for some reason. They're crazy cheap there. If I buy them at the Globus hypermarket, they're triple the price. We generally just buy kitchen roll, like the handy towels there, or very just silly things. My wife doesn't like fixed price really, but it is cheaper. It's not convenient because it's not near where it's at the train station. So when we go to the train station shops, we might pop in there. There's always a line. It's always quite hectic, that particular fixed price store, because it's built in an old building, and they kind of have put the shelving around what was already existing there. So it's always a bit hectic. Yandex is kind of similar to, okay, Yandex is quite a lot of things in Russia, but Yandex is a search engine similar to Google. Yandex also has taxis here, Yandex taxis, which will be similar to Uber. They also have Yandex Maps, which is similar to Google Maps. They also have Yandex Delivery. You can also do, there's a Yandex Market, kind of similar to Amazon. There's Yandex Anything. Yandex has a very big, not stranglehold on a lot of businesses, but they're very dominant in Russia. So I use Yandex Maps instead of using Google Maps. It's more reliable. It also works better. There's a lot of bugs with Google Maps in Russia because they're blocking some of the GPS signals. Also, Yandex Maps links over to the traffic as well. So I don't know if I can show that on the screen. Well, I can probably not on my phone, but this is where is Yandex? Oh, well, if I show you that, you can probably see there's Yandex Go, which is the taxi. That's similar to Uber. And then there is Yandex Navigator, which is the maps. Yandex Realty, so if you look up price of houses. Yandex Metro is the Metro app, so you can see which stations you want to go to. And then Yandex Alpha is the browser, which has also got the weather. So if I press the Yandex there, sorry if it's a little bit not perfect. It's got all the other things connected to that. Oh my gosh. It's doing all sorts of things. The weather one's pretty neat because it tells you the temperature. And then if you go to the, oh, that's a bit dark. It's really horrible to say that, but that's the map, and it will tell you if there's any rain and things like that, which there isn't at the moment because it's pretty clear outside. It'll tell you the temperature and the weather in the next whatever hours. So yeah, it's Yandex is everything, if that makes sense. Have you ever been to Rottnest? Yes, and my wife has been there too. Yes, Bonmood. Yes, I've been there. Well, I've not been there a lot. Maybe I've been there once every 5 years. But yeah, my wife loved it. Yeah, we took bikes and rode around the island, went swimming, went and checked out quokkas, took a quokka selfie because you have to. Could you please visit flea markets and show the prices? I will. Yes, I've got a very long list of a lot of things I need to make a video of, particularly where everyone's asking for this video, that video, this video. And I'm slowly doing them. The motivation thing is the key to YouTube. Well, consistency is probably the key. Then motivation is the next thing. Thank you so much, Brian, for the super sticker. I'm sorry if it doesn't show the picture on the screen. It blocks them in Russia. Tim Brian Tufunga. Thank you. 20 Australian dollars. Thank you so much. That's really very nice of you. No comment, but thank you. Really. I think you appreciate the channel. I'll just flick that and then flick that. So yeah, I appreciate that. I can show them much quicker because it's got a little star system now. This. Could you please visit? Okay. Do you have difficulty accessing money from Western banks? Yes, it's impossible. Do I have difficulty? Yes. Yeah, I can't use Australian cards. In Russia, you can't use non-Russian cards in Russia. And then outside of Russia, you can't use Russian cards, for instance, in Australia, in Bali, wherever you go. I don't have difficulties because we found ways around it. It can be difficult if you don't have a plan. Like if you came here and you ran out of money and you want more money, it's difficult then. You can't send a post to and from Australia from Russia right now. You can't do DHL, FedEx, UPS, Australia Post, Russia Post. My mum and dad used to do it years ago, but then we know it doesn't work, so we don't do it. So, where do you live in Moscow? What's the address? My son wants to meet you. I'm in a Prelivka in the southwest of Moscow. Visit flea markets. Hello from Arizona. Hello, Rebecca. How's it going? I hope it's not too hot there. Are cabs or users an option in Russia. Yes, yeah, Yandex Go there, which is the Uber system, is amazing. Literally, I can get a taxi within a few minutes right outside my house, and then it's actually linked to my card, so it just pays from the card whatever the amount is, tells you the price. You can choose it or not. You can choose different versions, economy, luxury, whatever car you want to choose. Yes, it works amazingly. Are they a feasible option? Yes, they are. They have gone up a little bit in price in the last 3 or 6 months. Maybe there's less taxis on the network. We don't use them too often. Mostly if we just go to the airport, I may use it if I'm really super lazy and don't want to walk to the train station to go to the shops there. Or if we go shopping and we don't want to carry bags home from the train station shop, we'll just get a taxi. It's literally 150 rubles, $1.50, $2. I bought a Yorkshire Terrier from Russia 3 years ago. It was a great experience. Wow, that's pretty cool. You bought a Yorkshire Terrier in Russia. Aren't they doing Starlink on the cruise ships now? I think that's the thing that they're mentioning now. They've got obviously satellite dishes on the ships, and I think the Starlink has become a big deal. Get mobile phone connection at sea. You can't get mobile connection at sea. You can do connection which is cellular at sea, which is kind of like a network similar to like Verizon and all that sort of stuff, but it's crazy roaming prices. Don't switch your mobile phone on a cruise. Yeah, you can get Wi-Fi and then use things like WhatsApp, Zoom, and things like that. But don't use your mobile network on a cruise ship. Joseph Johnson, hello. Hello from Bolivia, South America. Hola. ¿Cómo está, Luis? Bien. I hope you're good. From Bolivia, South America. Wow, that's crazy. Like polar opposite places from where we are here, right? Oh, you liked the trade shows, outdoor shows, and car factory tours. Yes, they are cool. I like going to them as well. And then yesterday, where I was at Crocus City, was where the conventions are. And there was no conventions on except this BattleBots thing that they'd set up. Big event. And there was probably about 5,000 people there. And they put temporary grandstands up. Yeah, there's another one coming up later this week. It's a food convention, World Food Convention. I've got a ticket for that already. It's later in the week. Pickling, shashlicking, mushroom picking. No, shashliks I love. We tend to go to friends' houses for shashliks. And I'm always open for an invite to somebody's place to have a shashlik. We don't go mushroom picking, although we could in the local forest, but we haven't. I don't think neither of my wife and I would know what to look for to do that. Benjamin, how's it going? Yeah, Russian hobbies. Not really Russian hobbies. Didn't really have any hobbies in Australia either. You know, my hobby was doing eBaying. I was buying Blu-ray movies. I've talked about this before in bulk, particularly from Facebook Marketplace. And I'd sell them and list them on eBay and sell them on eBay and then post them to people. That was kind of my hobby. You can say, Christine, I don't hear it. Say often. It's kind of nice. Thanks. Say hi to Jen. Oh, that's a lot of things to read. Oh, it's fine. You said Christine. I don't hear it often. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry if I'm behind on the chat. I think there's more chat than me replying, so I'm sorry if I'm a little bit behind. Joanna, hello. Oh, how is it going in Portugal? Zdravstvuyte. Thank you, Christine, by the way. I'm watching the broadcast in Russian. The world won't be the same anymore. I'm not sure what you're saying there on the first part. Russell, could you please visit flea markets? Yes, Telemax. I think that's the 11th time people have asked me about flea markets. And I always end up getting asked on Sunday nights, and most of the flea markets are on Saturday and Sunday. At least a personal assistant on all Russian smartphones and a certified... Yes, there is Alisa, yes. Which is similar to, I don't know what the name is in Google Assistant. We don't have one, Alisa, in the house here. My wife keeps saying we should get one, like just connect it to the network, and you can ask a question to it. We both have phones. And then when I went to Kyrgyzstan, I bought my wife a tablet as the gift that I brought back from Kyrgyzstan. So she has a tablet now she uses, a little bit more like a Samsung tablet. So thank you for letting us see my home away from home. 5 years. Your video about Vanuatu Airport made me happy. Wow, thank you. Metro map swap to Blue Line, and I'm home on Molodozhnaya station. One metro stop station swap to Blue Line, and I'm at home. Wow, that's pretty cool. Wow, Mira, thank you. It's very interesting when people comment on the videos and like now in the live stream and really enjoy seeing places that we all know who live in Moscow, right? And then seeing it from my perspective. I have this question I have a lot when I mentioned about the Pitorichka videos, because it's a very high percentage of Russian viewers who watch that particular video. But if you go to a shopping center video, the Russian viewers is very tiny, like really tiny. And it's always interesting when a lot of people comment that, you know, there's a local Pitorichka walking distance from where I live, and I can easily walk to it and walk in it and see it. But watching your video about it gives a different perspective because it's through my eyes and what I see in there. So, Alyssa is the coolest. Wow, Irina. I've never had one of these. I know on my old phone, you can do, you know, like ask. I don't even know what the one on the Samsung phone's called. It's got the assistant. Ask assistant. Or Bixby. But I've never really used it properly to understand it. Favorite park in Moscow? Do I like Gorky Park more? I really like going to Zaradi Park, which is the one near the Kremlin. Gorky Park I really enjoy because you can go there for a nice long walk. It's very iconic to go there, right? I mean, it's just so famous. I mean, there's probably a lot better parks that are a lot quieter than going to Gorky Park. I think a lot of people go to Gorky Park to look at other people who go to Gorky Park. So, I love your videos. I use my phone to make videos. I've got my phone right here, which is a Samsung S22, which is really bought by super chats and donation alerts and things like the Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. And my wife, she's the biggest. Sorry, there's fingerprints all over it. She was the biggest. In the end, I was trying to raise all the money through YouTube live streams to pay for it, because I desperately needed to change from my other camera to this camera. And then my wife just gave up and said, I'll go and be the biggest donator of the channel. So, yeah. Watching from California. Hello, Ivan. How's it going? Yeah, YouTube is better than TV in the UK. Yeah, I watch. Okay, even in Australia, I watched a lot more YouTube than I watched TV. And like, for instance, Saturday, a lot of YouTubers have a once per week schedule. So they release a video once per week on a certain day of the week. And now I'm here particularly, I get used to watching certain shows on Saturday, certain on Sunday. I'll watch them during the week. And you kind of follow their channel and what they're doing. And it may be something that's got nothing to do with what I can do as a skill. Like I watch a car remodeling channel, and I watch a super yacht channel. But it just takes you into that kind of life for whatever length of time the channel has got the video on. And it opens your eyes to something else in the world. In your field, say in a shop or supermarket with a limited knowledge of the Russian language, I think if I can find the company that's willing to hire me and take me on with limited knowledge, limited language, I think it would work perfectly fine, because you can use Google Translate for things. I think in retail and supermarkets, there's pretty much a common language that you use a lot of the same words. So it would be completely fine. I would really love to do that, even if it was just as a person that helps them improve how the store is run, or find problems or fixes to some things. It would be kind of cool. When is your YouTube button coming? It's not coming because I can't send it to Russia. It's in Australia. So My parents, I don't know what day they're in Bali right now for 2 weeks. And I talked about this, well, it would have been 17 days ago, the last live stream. That's when the last donation alerts was. I talked about this, that I wanted to see if I could do a fundraiser to get a ticket to Bali and back to go and get the plaque. And I would have met my parents there. And people really got very upset. I deleted the community post that I did on the channel when I asked about it, because people think that I was just asking for money to go on a holiday. So I got upset with everyone's comments, and I shouldn't have probably deleted it, and being the better person that I am. And I did that because it was just people who, I don't know, just took the question the wrong way, Do you think I should fly to Bali to go and get my YouTube plaque? And yeah, it's just I figured if enough people sent a small kind of donation of some value, it could have been even, let's call 100 rubles $1. If a bunch of people sent 100 rubles, it would have paid for the flight there and back. And it wouldn't have been a holiday like I've got a free holiday. This is my thumb drive I'm holding on to. Sorry. I'll put it down. And it is what it is, So it's still in Australia. It's never been opened, so I can go there at some point and do the grand reveal. Oh, sorry, got very close to the microphone then. Greetings from Russia, Sergey. Hello, Sergey Popov, the famous Russian swimmer back when I was in high school, and when they had the World Swimming Championships in '91. I think it was in Perth, the World Swimming Championships. Alexander Popov was one of the Russian swimmers that was training in Australia at the time because he loved the weather there. Moscow is like an average European country, but inside a country, just like Matrushka doll. That's true. That's a cool fun fact. Yeah, they always say Moscow is not Russia. Russia is not Moscow. I understand and completely agree. But you can go to Ufa, which is where my wife's from. It's a city with 1 million people, and the life isn't really any different from Moscow, apart from it's a smaller city. It's easy to get around. Things are closer. There's a lot of advantage to living in a smaller city. More people live in Moscow than in Sweden, Finland, and Norway combined. Population of Moscow is somewhere between 15 and 17 million. There's a lot of unofficial population versus what the true number is. Hello, Russell. Hello. With a black heart. Thank you. Learn Russian 101. They give you free PDFs and have videos. Oh, thanks. I'll have to look at that channel. Learn Russian 101. I really want one of those where you can put it on at nighttime, and it's like a kind of like a podcast, and you learn Russian in your sleep. I guess it just says words and you're dreaming about them. This is a very phrase used by those who leave Russia and then criticize Russians. Yeah, I understand that. Do you miss Australia? Yeah, that was the thing when I did the trip in March, and I made that video. But I did mention in the live streams and to the Telegram channel that I was going there for a holiday and coming back. And we were going to be there for a month and come back. And I thought it kind of alleviated all of that, and it obviously didn't. So, do you miss Australia? I'll say it a lot, and I've been asked it quite a lot. I miss very tiny, small things that seem so trivial and silly. I miss a certain food, but I can go to a supermarket here and get 50 other types of food. But you really want something sometimes, like Maltesers. I talked about that. I mean, Maltesers were in Russia before 2 years ago. I have found Maltesers at Food City in Moscow, believe it or not. I don't know which country they were from. I never remember now when I read the back of the label. What do you do about money sanctions? Other YouTuber bloggers complain about problems. Yes, I don't complain about it because I know it's a problem. About converting their foreign currency into rubles and vice versa. Right, yeah, a lot of the Russian YouTubers that have got monetized channels, the banks charge incredibly high fees to take the money out, some as much as $200 for a withdrawal because the money goes in dollars typically. The banks have put a lot of rules and restrictions on withdrawing US currency or changing US currency to rubles. I don't want to say anything particularly because I don't know if I'm saying the exact story correct. And yeah, I've found a way around it. I have explained it to other YouTubers who have asked me a million times. Not a million, but quite a few. And I guess they just don't want to learn to do the different ways about it. And that's that, So I won't mention that in videos. I know that there's a problem because my channel is in Australia technically because of the Google account and YouTube account and so on. So yeah, it has affected a lot of YouTubers, and most or majority of them have found ways around it. And then some just continually, let's say the word complain about it, like you said. And it's true. I've heard it in videos, but it's a matter of them just making that change to another way. And yes, £10 POMs. Right, the £10 scheme. There was even like some TV shows in Australia. I think they were British shows about the English coming over to Australia to emigrate, and then they didn't like it and they went back to England. And there was even TV shows documenting that with families that did that. No, CBA Sport Road. You have the microphone. Yes, well, Road's Australian made. So it's not really supporting them, but I know that they're incredibly popular, and they work really well, and they do what they're meant to do. Now you have the microphone for the camera as well as the one for USB connection. I love the products too. I recently got their Rode NT1 Studio mic. Wow, nice. Yeah, they have fancier versions. This one is the NTSB USB Mini because it can plug into my laptop with a USB cable. So I don't have the fancier one because you'd need the XLR and the Rodecaster and things like that, which I could definitely do, but I'd need more donation alerts and super chats to get me to that point. The setup I've got is what I could really afford, and it's worked fine for me. The Rode Wireless Pro, I think, is the new ones. The one little square mic that I clip on. There's a new version of it which is even better and more amazing. I'd really love to get and change, but it's not so cheap, and it's most of the time it's hard to explain to your wife about these things and what they do and how they improve what I'm doing. I think every man and woman has that argument with each other, right? Think of the 80s Land Down Under song. Yes, the Land Down Under. It's like an unofficial national anthem of Australia. You should talk to us for a bit in Russian. I think it would be very difficult. Моя зовут Russell. Откуда и Australia? Откуда? Я тебя люблю по-русски. Москва. I always get very embarrassed when I try to say things in Russian because I feel like I'm not doing justice to the language, and I don't want to do that. Not to upset somebody by saying something incorrectly. Greetings from Scotland. Hello in Scotland. The hearts are when you like on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter, on YouTube lives. Oh, right. I see them sometimes. Okay, so there's another screen over here where the chat is, and then I'm actually going off the StreamYard chat because it's where I can put it on the screen. And there is hearts that go up. There's one just now. Oh, there's a couple hearts. Thank you, whoever's pressing that button. Thank you for the hearts. That's cool. Sorry. Anyone wants to do the fireworks? I don't know. Is there more than... I don't remember now. When I watch other live streams, is there other ones that you can press? Wow, thanks. There is good and bad in every country. Absolutely. Do you know where are the best business universities in Russia? No, I really don't know any of that kind of stuff. Pablo, I'm very sorry. Foodery, hello. You always speak 97% English. Does that mean that you speak 3% Russian? Yes. I think I've always said it was like 5% Russian. So I always, because we've got some very good friends in Aprelivka that we visit quite a lot. And her husband, my friend's husband, is very upset that I can't have a conversation with him because he's such a nice guy, you know, loves to have a beer, loves to make barbecues. We love to hang out. And he's just upset we can't have a proper conversation. Night trains in Russia. Yeah, I've never been anywhere more than just daytime suburban trains. I will definitely do a video on the MCD trains. Never been. We like going to Ufa. We'd go on the plane rather than on the train. My wife isn't really a train person. Even going on the train to Moscow, she doesn't really like. So, yeah. So we figured out a way around the complaints from other YouTubers. Yes, bloggers. And content like 11 time zones. Yes. We have, I think, in Australia, there's like 3 or 4 time zones, 5 maybe. Would you suggest studying as an international student? Absolutely. There is a lot of them here. I mean, you'll see in Moscow. I mean, I don't know any personally, but you can definitely tell students who aren't from Moscow or from Russia. You can definitely get a feeling for the look of people, where they're from, and you definitely hear the languages sometimes. Yeah, I absolutely would suggest to come here. Yes. If anyone doesn't want any information about getting a visa, I can definitely send you over to somebody who can give you information about it. I mean, I don't want to give information because the guy that I know or I've met through Telegram and through YouTube is incredibly knowledgeable. I can send him a message with a question and he can give me an answer within seconds. Yeah, send me an email or something and I can put you on to somebody. You've got VK also, Russian FB. Yeah, like Russian Facebook, right? I love USA. Here in Moscow, we have several ski places. I suggest to visit Kant in winter. Many slopes, nice cafes in 5 minutes from Nagorny metro station. What? There's ski slopes 5 minutes from Nagorny metro station. That would be cool. I did go to Vorovivo Gore or Sparrow Hill back in December when they had the ski slopes open there, and they've got a tube, like a they've got a part of the ski slope set up where you can get on the car tires and go down in tubes, and you drag the tube back up and do it again. And I did that a few times, and that was super cool. And it was free. That actual one at Vorovivo Gore or Sparrow Hill is free to use. You just need to register. And like for the skiing part, if you bring your own gear, it's all free. If you want to rent it, you have to pay, of course. And about other countries, I live in Spain and have some great Russian neighbors. Yes, I think Russians are everywhere, right? My wife met quite a lot of Russians and Ukrainians in Perth when we were there. There is a definite community of Ukrainian and Russians that live in Perth. My wife is good friends with them from when we were living there and even to this day. His name is also Russell, the guy from Up. Thank you. I'll have to see who he is. Melbourne Airport, really? Watching Vanuka Airport, similar interior and taxi rank to Melbourne Airport. Really like the train station at Vanuka Airport. The escalator with the model plane was awesome. Yes. Yeah, and then Pictono Station is the next one. And when you come out, I didn't point it out, when you come out at Pictono Station, which is the one before Vnukovo, there's the micro district right there, the housing, and all the streets there immediately nearby the metro station are named after pilots who flew Tupolev aircrafts. So they're all named after, I guess, famous pilots, I don't know, or pilots that flew the planes, which is kind of a cool thing. I didn't show that in the video. I just walked out to the top of the station and then got back in the station. I'd never been to that area before, so I didn't even walk too far just beyond where the footpath was outside. Nice to see you again. Our central heating in Murmansk region is switched on. Ours is not switched on. No, Nelly. Good to see you, by the way. Sorry if I'm way behind on the chat. I'm sorry if I'm behind what you guys are chatting ahead. I promise if anyone sends me 1 ruble on donation alerts, I'll read it first. If you send me 9.5 million rubles, I'll buy the apartment for sale in our building, and I'll do videos on remodeling it. There's an apartment for sale in our building for 9.5 million rubles, which is really worth about 8.5 million rubles. And it's not been remodeled. Someone's lived there, and they put in the most simplest bathroom, simplest kitchen, and they've not done any of the walls and ceilings and flooring properly. And they're trying to now sell it, but no one really wants to buy it because of the amount of work needed to complete it. But if anyone wants to send me 8.5 million rubles, we'll buy this apartment and I'll make it a thing on the channel. So, yeah, so our heating is not on, Nelly, by the way. My wife said, because my wife's birthday is in October 3. So she always says that it gets switched on right on her birthday. So probably 2 more weeks. If the weather gets cooler in the next week, it may come on quicker, but our central heating is not on yet. Crocodile Dundee is very popular in Russia. Yes, Dundee. Mick Dundee. I've heard, do you know what they are? Medicinal purposes? No. I don't really like honey personally. My wife has it a lot. She puts it in tea. She loves honey. We bought some in Ufa. We brought some back. Surely with all those lilac trees, there is urban beekeepers. I'm sure there are. Yes. We were Russian restaurants and food. Yeah, we don't go out to restaurants very often, Guido. I would really feel uncomfortable filming in a restaurant. I don't want people to think that I'm, intentionally showing the good or bad of some places like that, Vegemite is brown goo. Never heard of it. Yes, Marmite, Promite. Vegemite is yeast extract, similar to Marmite or Promite. It's not the same, but very similar. It's people love it, or you either love it or hate it. That's simple as that. Yeah, one price coffee, right? Fixed price coffee. Yes, it's not one price. Have you ever been to Georgia? No, I've not. I've eaten Georgian food, though. There's lots of Georgian cafes in Moscow. What are your thoughts? I'm not an iPhone user, so I can't really give my thoughts on it. I did watch a tiny bit of the launch. I'm pointing to the other screen where I watch YouTube. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an amazing thing for people who like Apple phones. I'm really using Samsung for a lot of years, or Android. So I really should make a video just me walking in when it's for sale. Can I buy an iPhone 15 in Moscow under sanctions? Yes, I can. Once it's released. I have been to Finland. Yes, I've been to Helsinki, where the cruise ships are built in the center of Helsinki, Kovanemassa Yard. I've been there twice, once in winter, once in summer, when they were building the Carnival cruise ships there. They now build them in Turku because it's a bigger shipyard. We speak English. Wow, this is a big... Wow, my wife married 33 years. We speak English at home, and our 16-year-old son also speaks English at home. Wow, Derek, that's crazy. 33 years. And I thought Sam's Russian Adventure channel, he's lived here close to 20 years in Vladimir, where he lives. I thought that was a big deal. Airplane in reality because of the miracular projection. No, it is a big country. I think even just flying a few hours to Ufa, it feels like a long way. And that's not even close to going to the Far East. I don't really know anything about the business universities. I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of countries are going with Starlink, right? Commercials and cruises. Yeah, the cruise ships, I think there's obviously a bit of an agreement and business plan around that, and to improve the quality of internet so they can sell more internet packages on board. Hello from Sweden. Hi from Moscow. Hello from Kuusamo, Finland. Hello. KDX. Web design. Hello. What's the weather like in October? It's nice at the moment. It's, it's getting cooler. So like Right now it's 12 Celsius. Okay, it's 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, it's nice right now. I'm okay with this weather. I'm still wearing shorts, and I'm usually now wearing like a hoodie or a tracksuit top when I go out. I'm not wearing a jacket just yet. I'm always confused with this different seasons in Russia. You're meant to wear different thicknesses of jackets. So there's like a season where you wear lighter jackets, heavier jackets, thinner jackets, and I'm still in shorts. So from Germany, Cologne, living now in Moscow for studying physics. Thank you for your content. Wow. Auf Wiedersehen. I think that's German. Moscow. I'm from Zaryak, Moscow region. I'm from Aprilivka, which is narrow for Minsk, by the way. If you're not sure. It's not true that Russia is not accepting US dollars. They absolutely are. You can go to the bank. You can exchange them. I was at the bank 2 days ago, and we went to go sort out my taxes, and I had to pay a fee for the documents, and we had to go over to SberBank, and they even had the currency right on the wall, right behind the lady, and what the current exchange rate for buying and selling US dollars was. So yes, it's definitely a thing. I hope you're having a great day, man. I really love your videos. Please keep up the work. I do really like them. Do you remember me? I can't remember people's channel names. Emir66. I'm sorry if I know more to remember you, then yes. From Colombia, Ivan. Hello. And people with Central America, South American names always have like 7 names: Ivan, Enrique, Cadeno, Torres, Gutierrez, Fernandez, Hernandez, Torres. Do I visit Lictorino? I don't know where it is to know if I visited there, but I was in Vidno the other day. That's the region I had to go visit to sort out my taxes. People going to Gorky Park to gawk at other people in Gorky Park. Right. It's true, though. Yes. More accurate, more relevant. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I've almost given up using Google Maps. I just use Yandex now because I know it works. And also it can show the tracking of live tracking of buses as well. So I can see where the bus is coming. How about writing a book on your travels? Or I think writing a book would be one thing. There is a lot of people who do ebooks and things like that and sell them. I think it's easier in a way to document on YouTube in terms of monetizing that aspect rather than writing a book and selling a book. I've always told my dad he should write a book. He was a bus driver for most of his life on the public transport in Australia. And I've pitched it to him a few times to write a book about all these quirky stories that he even tells to this day. Yeah, language of money. Yes. I don't use VK. No, I have a VK account, but I just don't use it because I've never really got into it, even from all the years before I even had YouTube. Hello from Pushkinskaya metro station. Здравствуйте. Amina Nova. Hello. Do you miss Australia? I miss little things. You know, if I say I miss everything, then I would be not saying the truth that I miss things, if that makes sense. Because I like things here. You know, I like the fact that I can walk to the local Rinnock today, buy some fresh chicken. We went and there was a guy that's got one of those pop-up, you know, if you're in Russia, you understand there's these pop-up fruit and veg markets that they've got in summertime now. We went there and we bought a melon, which I've got to cut the melon now because I've got to do that. But we bought some tomatoes, we bought some plums. You know, we didn't go to a supermarket today. We just went to the little small vendors. And we went to Kuzville. My wife likes a certain yogurt in Kuzville. Tour guide for those who visit Moscow. That would be a great idea. I've done a few times where I've met friends or met people who we've gone for walking around Moscow, particularly in Moscow center. A friend from New Zealand that I met through YouTube, Ben. I took for walks. We met up for the day. We went out everywhere, and he really enjoyed it. We also went to a fishing shop because he wanted to buy fishing hooks to take back to New Zealand, some Russian fishing gear. So we did a bit of a trip where we went to couple of different like outdoor stores. Yeah, I mean, I like doing that kind of thing, especially showing things that maybe you would miss when you come to Moscow on a trip. Even like with my wife, when we go out and I know which way to walk and get around and things like that, she's like in shock that, I know it and she doesn't. So, hello from Ekaterinburg, Zdravstvuyte, Australian in Belarus. Wow, that's interesting. Is that a channel name, I wonder? Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Binimajurioluchal. Thank you. I'm not sure what CHFs are, but thank you. Whatever CHFs are. If anyone knows what a CHF is, thank you for 195 CHFs. I wonder if that's Bitcoin, then I'm going to buy that apartment very quickly. Probably it isn't. Wow. Am I getting so far behind? Why does it do that? They have a video you can play while you being a tour guide for those who visit. Oh, there we go. Have you ever visited Tonga, Samoa? Also missed the best chocolate in the world. Caramel. Yes. I sold a bar of caramel chocolate on my DVD, my Blu-ray eBay page. And I sold it and posted it to someone in England. Someone bought a caramel bar from England. And I sold it on eBay. And actually, I paid for the postage. And really, I didn't make any money because the postage with the UK was about as much as I paid for the bar. I've been to Fiji on the cruise ships. I did a cruise out of Sydney. 12-day cruise from Sydney around the Pacific Islands and back. I've not been to any of this other Samoa, Tonga, and places like that. But yeah, caramel I miss. Is Vegemite tasty or... it is tasty if you like it. Yeah, I mean, look, you've got to have something, spread some on toast, have it in a sandwich, Vegemite sandwich, and you'll either like it or you won't. It seems pretty... Oh, okay. Seems pretty funny. Be fluent in Russian. Thank you, Mozzie. Another one I'll have to look up. I have a list of things that I need to look up. Can you list similarities between Australia and New Zealand? Yes, sport. Australia and New Zealand is incredibly similar in terms of the places. Obviously, New Zealand's much smaller. It's much greener. It's got a much smaller population. It's much greener rather than Australia having a lot of deserts. It's very hard to list, because a New Zealander will be upset if I compare. Australia will be upset if we compare, but it's incredibly similar. There's almost the government system, the banking system is the same. The day-to-day life, if you like that, is very much the same. They love rugby like we love rugby. They love sport generally. They love the outdoors. I want to tell you that I really enjoyed your Domino's pizza. Oh, it's now Domino pizza without the S. The apostrophe F is gone. You really enjoy it. I like going out there. The guy that ran that place was so nice. The owner, he's a franchisee. He owns 10 of them. He owned 10 of those locations, and that was the only one open because they'd closed quite a while back until the buyout and the handover to the new company. And he was such a nice guy, honestly. He gave me... That's why if you look at the video and you see I've got like 2 lots of fries, he kind of seemed either mistakenly gave me more or he intentionally gave me more fries. I paid for that meal, by the way. That wasn't even free. I just turned up, asked, can I film? And he's completely fine. We chatted outside for about half an hour. Such a nice guy at that Domino pizza place. And even the staff working there were always smiling and happy. I think they were just happy that they were back to full-time work because they were still getting paid when they weren't at work from the previous company. And then now they're back at work. I would imagine they're probably getting more money because they're selling more pizzas. Yeah. Vania, hello. Thoughts about the World Cup? India winning. Which World Cup? Football, cricket, ice hockey. Thank you, Vania. Have a good evening. Russ L, welcome. Hello. Thank you. Hey, whoa. I met your dad in Bint. Oh my gosh. Travel Walks 4K. He says, hi, love what you're doing. Inspiring. Thank you. I met your dad in Bintang, in Bintang supermarket. Come on. And I've actually, on my channel, I've got if that's Bintang supermarket, I've got a video on the channel of that supermarket. There's even a Bali playlist of a few videos. That's crazy that you met my dad. Wow. They're there for another, I think either today or tomorrow, that fly back to Perth. Sorry, I'm excited today because you just tweaked something that I'm reading. I've not been on the Sun of Moscow, no. The biggest Ferris wheel in Europe. I did want to go on it when it first opened, and I was trying to get press tickets. And the lady replied back saying there's too many people asking, ask later, to give free tickets, like press tickets. It's about 2,000 rubles a person, if I'm not mistaken, or 1,500 or 2,000 rubles a person. The one thing, I don't have a problem with paying for tickets to go to events. I don't have that problem at all. And the cost of a ticket, if I compare it to Australia, it's cheap. The problem I really have is paying for something that I won't really enjoy because I'm more focused on making the video than I am of enjoying the experience of going on that Ferris wheel, for instance. And I do my best to try to ask for a free ticket or a press ticket because of the channel, because I get more worth out of getting a free ticket and filming the video and the place and the location more than I would if I paid and didn't have my camera with me. I hope that makes sense. I think I'm explaining it right. So, where somebody can give me a ticket or provide a ticket or help me go somewhere, then I've just got something on my, it looks like, I don't know, it's not a mosquito bite, but something is itchy. Sorry. So yeah, I have wanted to go on it so many times. I've been to Bedenha a lot more times than since that's opened. And I just want to keep asking for the press tickets as much as I can because it's just part of making videos on YouTube now, I'd love to learn Russian. Have you seen snow in Australia? I have not seen it physically, no. I know on the east coast of Australia, there's ski fields. Wish you do some sports for your good health. I walk a lot, Vulcan. I probably need to walk more and probably eat less. That's the one thing with Russia. There is so much food, so much availability of food, so many choices of food, so many snacks, candy, sweets, healthy food that I think I naturally look fatter or chubbier because of the amount of good food that I eat. Yes, I was playing tennis when I was not really recently in Australia, but years ago. I was playing 3, 4, 5 times a week. And even working on the cruise ships, you walk and walk and walk and walk. And you work. Even in Australia, when I was at the supermarkets, the amount of walking around the supermarket you do in one day, is enough basically walking for a whole week. Before proposing. Wow, that's a lot of questions about meeting my wife. I think it was a year or two after we proposed. I think at least a year, too. You've got to be very patient. I think you don't have to have the word Russian in that question, by the way. My wife spoke English when I met her. Probably much better now than when I first met her, but Russell is fine. Thank you. Yes. Say hello. Hello, Christina. If you've left or not, I think I'm behind on the chat. Very different from classical English. Is the Australian pronunciation of English very different from classical English or American? I would say not. No. There's a lot of slang in Australian. When you speak English, when you're in Australia, there's a lot of slang words that you use that also you speak faster and you change the conversation by saying a lot more slang words. And it's not necessarily different from English to Australian English and American English, but just the words you use would make it seem confusing to understand. Some and ahs and ois. Oi. Why are you in Russia? I'm in Russia to do a live stream from my kitchen in Russia. That's why I'm in Russia. Those are parents and grandparents' names. I can't even say that word to know what that word is. Maybe it's a bad word. That's why you want me to say it. So I can't say it. Hi, Rudy from Moscow. Hello. Swiss franc. Swiss francs. Alexander, hello. Здравствуйте. How is the real estate market in Russia? Is possibly to get a mortgage. You can absolutely get a mortgage. Yes, you can go into a bank and get a mortgage. Obviously, you need to show earnings and a job and salary and assets and have a deposit. It's the same as anywhere in the world. How is the Russian real estate market? I can't really answer that because I'm not a part of it. You know, in terms of a job, if you like. I mean, things are for sale, things are for rent. If I judge by my building, there is now 2 places for sale in my building. We always take a look what's for sale here in case we can find something better, because we always want to look if something's better than where we live, right? Prices haven't necessarily gone down since the events of 2 years ago. Make a video of the tour of the hangars of... Oh, okay. Of the military airports. It can be a problem going to military places to make videos because they may think you're doing something not normal. It'd be pretty cool to see this MiG 1.44 though. I wrote, let's go to the reviews of our football stadiums. I don't want to... I need to sort out the fan ID before I can get tickets to go see football. There was a young guy on the train last night on the way home that went to a Spartak game. He had the scarf on, he had the backpack, he had the t-shirt on. I think he was with his mum, and they went to see the game in Moscow. It was Spartak and Sochi, he told me, because he lives in a Prelivka, of course. We had a little chat while we were just waiting to get off at our last station. You personally... you can buy kangaroo in the supermarket in Australia. We've had it a couple of times. Kangaroo burgers, or in Russia they call them kotlets. Kotlet. That's basically burger patties, or beef cutlets is what their name is in Russian. They're completely fine. I mean, I don't see them any different to another burger. It's just knowing in your head that you know it's a kangaroo that you're eating. I've been watching since you were 10,000. Am I a rich man? I'm rich in terms of how many people watch me and how many people like and subscribe and follow the channel and comment. I'm not any richer than when I did 10,000 subscribers. It's really, if you really want to be rich on YouTube, if that makes sense, you need million view videos every week. And I don't have that. You know, you need a lot of consistency and a lot of views to get rich on YouTube. It's not as easy as it is. I was talking to somebody yesterday at this battle robot thing. They were asking about YouTube. And I said, you know, because I said, I don't want you to go away inspired to make a YouTube channel. Because it's a grind. You need 30 to 50 videos minimum to try to get somewhere initially on YouTube. 30 to 50 videos. If you want to launch a YouTube channel tomorrow morning, you need 5 videos. I'll tell you to get 5 videos ready on your channel to launch a channel straight away. It would take 30 to 50 videos to maybe get some traction, unless you're doing something completely unique that no one else is doing. Maybe in a way, the channel that I've got is that, right? I mean, nobody had a Pitorichka video on YouTube. Well, some people did, but nobody really had a guided tour of Russian supermarkets on YouTube before I made it, shopping centers before I made it. And a lot of the videos that I made on my channel were a hole in the YouTube, where there wasn't a video already. And that's probably why they're successful. Am I rich? I'm rich in people that watch. Everybody, thank you. Really, if I'm going to be rich, I would need the comments to constantly have super chats popping up and donation alerts popping up. the money that I earn from it pays for me to keep doing it, pays for me to live here. And that's, beyond that, I mean, I'm not got a fancy car outside. A lot of YouTubers like to flex on YouTube, and I'm far from that. I'm not a person that really wants and needs things to make my life better. I hope I'm explaining that okay. I hope so, if that makes sense. Has YouTube contact about your plaque? Yes. The plaque is already in Australia at my parents' house. It got shipped from America to Australia. It went to China. It went to Singapore. It went to Dubai. It went to Dallas, Texas. I don't know which other one in America. A couple of places. Then it got to Perth. So it's definitely at my parents' house waiting for something. If anyone wants to send me to Australia to go get it, or would like to sponsor the flight to Australia to go get it, I'll go get it. Otherwise, it's going to have to stay there for a while. Those who are celebrating Sanatava. I'm not sure what that is, but yes, Happy New Year. Pony Guy, hello. If you become a tour guide, and should someone incorporate it would make for some very interesting content. Yes, like vlogging, walking tours, absolutely. I had this idea of doing how-to videos, and a little bit the second Vnukovo Airport video is a bit of a how-to get from Vnukovo Airport to Moscow. And that was the intention of the second video. The first video had 100,000 views, which is amazing. And, I guess because it's a unique video that people liked and related to. So it does prove that I need to make more train videos, though. I won't vote because I won't be there, Martin. And also I'm not on the electoral roll because I took my name off. Excuse me, I mentioned it a while back on the video. When I was working on cruise ships, I removed myself from the electoral roll because I knew I could never technically be there during the time to vote. Even to do a postal vote is not easy. So certain level of income in order to get your residency permit. No. For Russia, no. For the second stage of it now, I need to prove income, but technically my wife sending me money every month or putting money on my card. The way we get money in Russia is through my wife's card, not through me. And she has a job, of course, so she works. So she sends me money that I can live off. And that's technically the income that I earn that I can put for my taxes. We're still a bit confused about this. We're now going to contact a tax agent here in Moscow to help with the documents for my visa, because we don't understand how I have to pay tax on money that I'm not earning if I don't have a job. Yeah, but for the residency, no. The first part of it, no. You just need to, okay, we were married, so we had a marriage certificate. So I was married to a Russian citizen, or a Russian resident of Russia, whatever you want to call that. So that was obviously a lot easier. Have you been seen any synagogues in Russia? There is a lot of churches. I'm not sure specifically synagogues. I'm sure there are, but I don't know. Someone meeting your dad in Bali. Yes, Mozzie, absolutely. My dad is incredibly, he's like me. If you kind of can understand me and my friendliness, take that to another level, and that's my dad. And if you happen to bump into him somewhere, like someone met him in Bali, the fact that he mentioned my YouTube channel and told you to subscribe and you're on the live stream, that's just crazy for me to understand. You'd know that it's my dad without knowing it's me and his son. Have you taken a train to Moscow to Helsinki? I haven't. No, I know other not YouTubers, but there is a expats group that I follow on Telegram, and people take the trip from St. Petersburg to Helsinki quite a lot to go through Europe, which I don't know why, because they can just fly Turkish Airlines to Istanbul and go to Europe. But I guess they want to do the train version and fly through Helsinki. You can get Finnair from there, right? So it's a difficult process to get married in Russia. I'd say not. No, you just go to the marriage office. There's a one that's for foreigners called Zags, and I went to Zags 4 and got married. No, it's not. They do the normal checks and things like that. You need to have like there's like a document that I got from the Australian Embassy that proves that I've not been married before. It's a very straightforward document you can get from the Australian Embassy to do that. Australian slang words. What's the ones? Brekkie. So instead of having breakfast, you have brekkie. So what's for brekkie instead of breakfast? Barbie instead of barbecue or shashlik. Have a Barbie. Are we going to have a Barbie today? What's the next video? There's about 4 videos. I've got, how many videos do I have on my phone? I've got, and I was going to go film one today, but I'm now going to film tomorrow. I've currently got 4 videos ready to, well, not finished yet. So there's the Truck Expo, the Urban Forum. I went to India Day. I know that was about a month ago now, but I can still release that video. And the untitled one is the one from the BattleBots thing yesterday. So I've got 4 videos that I'm working on. Can you please show us some pictures of you when you were younger? Well, I don't have any here. They're in albums, in my parents' photo albums in Australia. So I don't have any young pictures. I don't think I've got any saved. Or maybe I've got like a school class photo on Facebook. I can look for that. Maybe I'll put it on my Telegram channel. Death Proof. There is a lot of talks about Aussie and Kiwis. What do you think about it? I don't know this movie. Sorry. I watched Barbie, the movie, a few days ago. We got the English, beautiful quality version and watched it on the TV right here. It was a bit silly movie, really. A bit goofy. It's very hard if you don't understand the meaning of the movie to watch that movie and to understand the meaning of the movie. I don't know how it done it. It did $1 billion and was so successful, but I guess there's something about it. Sometimes I need to try to catch up with a flow when I, for example, watch something like Bondi. But yeah, Bondi Rescue. Is that the show you watch? Bondi Rescue, the one where they've got the lifeguards at the beach. My wife loves that show, by the way. She watched that in Australia so much, like even reruns of it. Hello. I understand 15% English. That's good. Shoot. It would be interesting to see your report from Mariupol, Donetsk. If someone would to take me there, absolutely. I'd film a video. I've seen other YouTubers. There is other YouTube. Just keep in mind, everybody, there is other YouTubers everywhere in the world who make content relevant to where they live. So there is people in Donetsk, in Luhansk, in Mariupol, making videos in that part of the world. And they create content daily, weekly, and they make videos about where they live or what they do. Someone said about, you should go to a supermarket in Kiev or in Lviv. There is YouTubers that live there that make content there and go supermarket shopping and walking through the supermarket and the shopping centers in Kiev, and that's their thing on their channel. Like if I want to watch a YouTuber that's in Bali, I'd watch somebody that's filming in Bali all the time and making content regularly about Bali. If I can get there and someone can take me any event in Moscow, if someone would invite me to it or tell me to come to it, like that thing yesterday, for instance, I knew about it only less than a week ago. I didn't know about it months ago. There's so many events in Moscow every day that I just don't know about. And I find out about afterwards and I'm like, that would have been cool. And I didn't go to it, so will you get a job in Russia? Maybe a tour guide. Yeah, it would be cool. I'd be like a supermarket tour guide and shopping center tour guide. That would be kind of cool to take people on like shopping trips. They do that in Australia where they've got like a bus that takes people to shopping centers. Hello. Awesome as always. UFO vapes. There's a ton of vape shops in Moscow. They're everywhere. There's actually one in my building downstairs. Vaping is a big thing in Russia. Gucci is the very best video blogger. I'm not sure who Gucci is. Did hell freeze over when you were in Helsinki? Because the code for Helsinki is HEL. It was minus 24 when I flew out of Helsinki. Hell froze over. Yeah, when I did the trip from Moscow back to Perth, I talked about this with my wife. And the day I landed, when I left Moscow, it was like minus 15, minus 18. When I landed in Perth that day, it was a 40-degree day. And by the time I got off the plane, it was like early evening, like 6 o'clock p.m. And it was maybe like 32, 33 degrees still. And when it's a 40-degree day, it's still hot even in the evening. And I said to my dad, I said, can you bring shorts to the airport and can you bring a flip-flops? And I came through arrivals. He handed them to me. He said, I'll take your bag. You go get changed in the toilets and get yourself your shorts and t-shirt on and flip-flops. And I'd walked off the plane in like with a jacket, with a sweater on, with pants on. I looked completely out of place getting off in Perth and having that. It was something like 70-degree temperature difference. It was a crazy number, like the temperature, the minus when I was in Moscow that day, when I flew out or from here back to Perth. Well, I hope you'll come back to Moscow one day. The way you can in Australia. I love those little individual meat pies with mashed potatoes. Oh, that's pie floater. They're the ones over in Sydney and Melbourne, pie floaters. They don't have them in Perth. They were selling on the streets in Sydney. Sorry, I didn't read the whole thing there. Yeah, the pie floaters are a Sydney thing. Woolloomooloo, there's like a famous, like a guy that sells them as takeaways. Mushy peas or mushy peas, they call them, not mashed peas. Mushy peas are an English thing. You can buy canned mushy peas. It's basically peas that are mashed up. They're really more English than they are Australia. If you get fish and chips in England, you get mushy peas as a side dish, and you dunk your chips in the mushy peas. There is places in Moscow you can buy pies from. There was a couple of different Australian guys that have businesses making pies. In what's that food Rynok in Moscow? It's in a circular building that looks like a tent on top. Danilovsky Market, Danilovsky Rynok, Danilovsky Market. There's an Australian pie shop there where you can buy them. Can you get post? No, you can't say that. Can't say this is the case. Yeah, you can't post back and forward from Russia to Australia right now. Both directions, nothing. Will you be recording Moscow at winter? Yeah, I will do. I've also got some old videos from last Christmas, and there'll be more videos again this Christmas. Yeah, if you go back, I wouldn't say they're most popular videos, but in the playlists, I think there might even be a winter playlist or Christmas playlist where I walked in Red Square. I did a couple of different videos. When it's impossible because you go there and you want that dream of it beautifully snowing when you're filming, and it's never like that, right? And I tried to do that, and every time I go, it wasn't snowing. Then on days I'm at home, it's snowing, and I didn't go out. Oh, my life pixeled. Hello. Enjoying an hour left of work with American football on the telly. Yeah, I saw some people earlier mention there was a couple of games on. I might have to go to my other website after I get off the live stream and see what games are on. I really wanted to watch the if there's any car racing. I like watching NASCAR or IndyCar. I hate peas. Yeah, not everybody likes peas. That's understandable. Yeah, mushy peas are different to peas, by the way. They're kind of like peas, but with in a sauce, in a green sauce. They don't look particularly appetizing, but how many homeless people have you seen in Russia? Not many. There is homeless people here. That's no question of that. There is, if you compare it to America, and if you watch some of the YouTube channels now that do walking around some of the cities in America, it's not the same here. It's, the thing is with the winters here and the weather, it's not ideal to be homeless in the weather they have in Russia. I mean, across all of Russia, not just Moscow. Yeah, you won't see very many if I go out for a day and did a blog, I'd be struggling to show a few in a video. And I'm being realistic. Cities would you like to go to? I'd like to go to Vladivostok because it's the furthest east. Probably not technically the furthest east, but I want to go to a Russian supermarket in Vladivostok and say that I've been to one of the more remote supermarkets in Moscow. I think everybody wants to go to Yakutsk, which is like the coldest place in Russia. There's too many people that have done the video there, so I guess it wouldn't really be a thing. Margot Robbie, yes. And yeah, she was pretty good. She was good in the movie. I mean, I kind of understand the concept of the movie, but a lot of people who probably are watching it maybe don't get it. Does work from UK to Russia, received only a few days ago. That's pretty cool, Darren. If you got something from the UK, in Australia, it's not so possible. Then I can probably get some Maltesers and some Walker's salt and cheese and onion. Well, cheese and onion crisps. My gosh, there's that many Lay's flavors here, though. You don't really miss cheese and onion when there's that many other flavors here. Actually, someone asked me about Australian slang words, and my pixels mentioned it about telly. So instead of television, it's called the telly. But that's really British slang, I think, maybe not Australian. Mashed whole, hate them, all the smell is. Oh, wow. Are you able to review a sporting market called Sportmeister? I have done a video in Sportmeister. If you have already, can you tell me the name of it? Russian typical sports store. Let me see if I can bring it up, and I'll. I don't know if I can do two things at once, because that would be too much, wouldn't it? That would be too much. I'm pretty sure if you just put sport, yeah, Russian typical sports store. Oh, it's got during sanctions as the title. I should change that. I want to get away from that sanctions word. I'll even put the link for you. Can I do it this way? I think so. I don't know if it's clickable there, is it? Russian typical sports store. If you type that into YouTube, my video would have to come up first. I almost think it would have to. It might not, but that's a lot of clicking to get back. My gosh. Close. Oh my gosh, what's going on? That's hectic. All right, everybody, I'm going to slowly wrap up the live stream. I hope everyone's had a good time watching the live stream. We've got 283 likes. Do you think we can get to 300? That would be amazing if we could. I guess the consensus, a lot of people like me doing, or possibly me making vlogs versus doing title-specific videos. Yeah, I guess you could click that link and then it'll close this video to watch that video. Can you go over the sounds of the different Cyrillic letters makes opposed to the sounds that make an alphabet? Other YouTubers have done this, Angela, where they've talked about this, about the wording of Western brands with Cyrillic lettering. Yeah, right. It is impossible to read it if you don't know the alphabet, and the letters look completely different to what the word is. If you can, when I lived in Estonia, I went one night to see fresh snow falling with the street lights. Yes, I've seen other people that do that. Or Bondi Vet, yes, with Dr. What's his name? The Bondi, I don't know the guy's name, the Bondi Vet. But yeah, Bondi Rescue, my wife watched over and over and over. Bye, Peter. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Have a great week. Yes. Thanks. Just gave you another like to make it to 300. We're 7 away. Wow. Oh, goodbye. Have a great night. Thank you. I think everyone's slowly leaving now. I used to work at one. I worked in supermarkets in Australia doing merchandising. I wasn't actually working for the supermarket company. I was working for a third-party company that was working with the supermarkets. So I worked at different supermarkets, different locations, different brands of supermarkets, doing the merchandising. That's really my specialty, is the more of the back of house stuff for the supermarket. not really just working at the register and things like that. Dr. Chris, yes, Dr. Chris, that's the guy. And there's also Dr. Harry as well. There's a Channel 7 show. I don't know what his show's called. There's also Dr. Harry. He's a well-known vet. He's a very older guy that wears like a peak hat, and he's on some of the different lifestyle shows in Australia. Dr. Harry, I don't know what his last name is. I'm from Bulgaria. The people I see here from the UK look more happier than the people here in Bulgaria. They are smiling more. Yeah, I guess, you know, I mean, it's a different, when you move from one country to another, it's a different perspective of life and how you live and how your life has changed. So yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I can look happy. Some days I'm not happy. Come on, I'm not happy every day of the week. The things that make me unhappy are quite tiny compared to generally living, right? Generally living, being alive, living, whatever. And you know, my wife always asks me why I'm so happy all the time. You know, and I can't really answer her. Then she brings me home a bounty, and she knows what makes me happy. Strawberry milkshake. I've never ever been into these before recently. I never even had these before in Russia. But these drinkable ones, and they're only like 50 rubles, 40 rubles. And they're, you know, probably better for me than drinking a cool drink like this lemon one. But 5 a.m. Should I go to bed or have breakfast? Mozzie, that's, well, depends on what you need to do today. I'm going to switch the light off here, this light off, that light off, the other light off, and chill out now a little bit, and then get ready to go to sleep myself. Thanks for the stream. How do you like Moscow? Is there something that doesn't exist in other capitals of the world? Is there something that doesn't exist? No. You know, I can compare a little bit Moscow in terms of the city to places in Europe in terms of how old Russia is and how old some of the the European capitals are. You know, it's. I said this to somebody yesterday, and then he kind of didn't agree with me. But I said, you know, there's certain aspects of living in Moscow where Russia seems 20 or 30 years advanced on something. And then there's certain things that it's 10 years behind on something. And this leaves your head like spinning, thinking, my God, how cool is that? That I can look up the train, I can look up the bus, I can get a car rental downstairs, I can get a taxi, I can order food for delivery, and all on my phone, everything. And then I go to do my taxes at this office, and everything's with a manual piece of paper, getting a stamp, going across to the bank to pay the fee for the document, you know, for the processing of the document, where all that could be online and could be far more easier and interactive, and it's not. And you go in the office and there's this box of paperwork stacked up everywhere, rather than it all being electronic and online. And it's what sometimes just makes your head spin a little bit when you think about Russia as a country, you know. And 300 likes. Okay, I'm out of here. Fantastic video. Gained a lot. Learned a lot. Gained a lot. It's like sunshine. You are a simple person. Yes, Maleni. Hello. Oh, thank you. I think I am. My wife says I am. You know, and I don't look the best today. I need a shave. I need to go out and film tomorrow, but I need to have a bit of a rejuvenation overnight. Very interesting. Thank you. How do Russians, for example, neighbors maybe treat you? They treat me very well. Everybody that I meet, I'm probably quite well known in the town here where I live. Obviously, I go to the same places. They recognize me. They, you know, even the butcher today, he watches my YouTube and watches the videos. So, you know, everyone that I meet and interact with are very interested in me and where I'm from, and I'm interested in them as well. You know, what they do, where they live. Like yesterday, the guy I met that gave me the ticket for the event talked about his university and stuff. You know, so it's a mutual thing that we're curious about each other and curious about what we do and where we live. So yeah, all right, I'm pretty much out of here. How do you find the temperatures and weather during winter? How do you adapt? I find them fine. You wear a nice jacket, wear a scarf, you put your headphones in, and you can zone out from how cold it is. I mean, I don't complain about a lot of things. You know, maybe other people in Australia, there's a slang word for you, whinging. I mean, like complaining or talking negatively about something. It's called like having a whinge. And people whinge about a lot of things, and then a lot of things, it just doesn't bother me, you know? And I have a whinge about the line for the bus to get home from Sarajevo to Prelevka. And that line is the same line for how many years that I've been catching the same bus from the same bus stop. And it will never change and never fix. And no matter if I complain to the bus company, they would probably never change it. And the weather thing, I like colder weather personally. I tend to struggle more in summer here because it's like a strange hot weather here. Whereas in Australia, when it's hot, it's hot. When it's warm, it's warm. Whereas in Moscow, it can be a 27, 30 degree day and I'm just roasting and it's crazy hot. Whereas in Australia, we get a 37 degree day, it's hot, and I'm okay with it. Whereas here, 27's hot and I'm struggling. Do I have a comment on why clothes dryers are not popular in Russia? That's a big comment in a lot of my apartment videos. Yeah, a lot of the washing machines, especially the newer ones, have the tumble dryer feature built in. But it's just never been a thing that people own a tumble dryer. People just put it on the clothesline or on the clothes horse. Like we've got one sitting on our balcony, and we open the window in the balcony and it dries naturally. So there's no need for a tumble dryer. That's probably the only comment I can give you. It's just not a thing. Yeah. All right. Yes. Comparing the train. I mean, that was the nicer train yesterday. There is the older train. If you look at the two photos of the two trains on my Telegram post, that's the old and the new current model, or the current model and the old model. So they do feel different inside. I've not been on the other lines with the more modern Evolga train, Evolga 2 or 3 it's called. I mean, they're very nice trains, you know, and that's on the normal suburban lines as well. Being a sook. Yes. Yeah, there's an Aussie term for whinging. Have a whinge. Right. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for watching a live stream. Thank you for 308 likes. Thank you to people who did donation alerts, who did super chats, who did PayPal, maybe the SberBank thing. I don't know. I can't check that without looking at my phone. Thank you, everybody. It goes a long way to making more videos, to make the channel successful, and inspiring me to make more videos because everybody makes a lot of requests. Suk, Telly, Brekkie, Barbie. I sleep with a new language learned. Thank you. Yes. Tracksuit pants. You know, like a sports pants and a sports top, like a tracksuit. The pants are called tracky dacks or dacks. Tracky dacks or tracksuit pant bottoms. They're called tracky dacks. So you're going to put your tracky dacks on. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good night, good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for spending a couple hours with me watching a live stream. If you want to comment on this video after it finishes, I will try to catch up a little bit on comments. It's very impossible to do that. Thank you, Joanna. Big hugs to you. Hello to Bearbull. Hello. Thank you, Vladimir. Thanks to everybody who's still watching, who's not commenting. There's a lot of people who are silent. I completely understand that. That's no problems at all. Sorry, I'm just looking over at the other screen because I do that a lot. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Bearable, thank you for the super sticker. And the banana, thank you. I've not had bananas in a while because now at the moment it's melon season and we're getting plums and grapes as well right now. So pretty much we're heading towards mandarin season for Christmas. But I've not had bananas for a while. My wife got tired of me buying. Why do you buy bananas all the time? We both like them, right? Thank you. Thank you, Bearable Cruising. That's so nice of you for the super sticker. I can't show the super sticker because it won't show in Russia. These little boxes that you see in the comments. Such a shame that you can't show them. Banana or nana. But the nana is really what kids say about bananas. Yeah, bananas. Actually, I've shown that in one of the videos, and it was a big thing about the comments about the price of bananas. Most of them are from Ecuador, the ones you buy in Moscow. And it's generally under 100 rubles a kilo, about 70, 80, 90 rubles a kilo, 70, 89 cents a kilo. So have a positive week. Thank you, Maleni. Bearable Cruising, I know and you're also a channel member as well. Thank you so much. I know I don't do enough with channel memberships, but I guess somebody mentioned in a comment also, I read a lot of comments, that it's a way to support the creator as a thing, and I've not put it at a silly price like you could do. It's really just an extra way to support the channel. So yeah, thank you. Life in Russia through your eyes as a person from another country. Yes, I get that a lot. And I get that as a live feedback when I meet people in person, that they find it interesting to watch videos of places that they can relate to, like someone mentioned about Sportmeister. Actually, the Decathlon stores are going to reopen. That would be an interesting video to go back to Decathlon, which are the ones that were closed. They're now going to reopen. They said in December, or by December, they're going to open them. Nanas. We used to say nanas for bananas. Yes. Nana is also the name of your grandma or your babushka is your nana. That's an Australian, like nana and pop would be grandma and grandfather. Your grandfather and grandmother would be nana and pop. Wow, I really could do an English live stream. Fellow expat Dave, how's it going? I'm just about to sign off. Yeah, granny in Scotland. Yeah, that's a bit of an English word, right? Your gran or granny. Yeah, nana and pop is the. Actually, this is interesting. I know I'm trying to look. We'll go for 3 minutes, and that'll get to 3 hours. It's an hour more than my 2 hours, and I'll just talk about my mum and dad. So my sister's got 3 boys. So my sister's husband's parents. My sister's kids call them Nana and Pop, is their grandparents. Nana and Pop. My mum and dad, which would be their grandparents on my sister's side, hope this makes sense, they call Grandma and Tony. So they don't call Grandma and Granddad, which is the correct thing to say. So it's Grandma, which is my mum. And then Tony is my dad's name, is Anthony. Tony, he goes by. So the 3 boys, since they were born, it was Grandma and Tony rather than Grandma and Granddad. And he's completely fine with it. It's been a thing since they were babies, or growing up and speaking, of course, that they say that. It's kind of interesting. I hope that's... yeah. Mommy and daddy. Yeah, my son calls my mommy and daddy. Yeah, it's just interesting the different words that people use for grandparents. Grandma and granddad. Grandma and granddad is what I call my grandparents on both sides. Yeah, it's Grandma and Tony. It's just funny when they explain to someone else because they laugh at it as well, and it just makes sense that my dad's always been known as Tony. So okay, 3 hours. Thank you, amazing. 317 likes. That's just crazy. I'll see everybody on Telegram. If you want to join Traveling with Russell channel, the link's in pretty much every description of every video. You're more than welcome to chat there. Basically, you join the channel, you put a comment, it takes you to a chat. There's 400 people there, generally more than 100 active at all times. And lots of friendly chat back and forward, people posting photos, normal day-to-day things. People show lots of food. Yeah. Sometimes I call my mum grandma. I call my dad Pops. Mom and Pop. Yeah, Pop is very in America, mom instead of mum. Wow, thank you, Bebel. Yeah, grandma and granddad. Mommy and daddy, grandma and granddad. Yeah. Hey, we should really do that. Abuela in Spanish. Huh. That's like grandparents or abuela. Huh, thanks. Granny in Scotland. Ham solo, ham salad. Thanks. Oh, sorry. I'm just reading comments now. All right. I'm going to end broadcast and stream, and I'll see you in another video. I'm off on another adventure, as I say at the end of my videos. Bye, everybody. Bye.